wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant. You're radiant. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over, ho. Do you need anything like I need you? Let's go! What is up, people? Saturday night in this bullshit. Let's go! A denial. These are not my words. Tell me where are mine? Most of the time, wet my face with reality and permit me to breathe before I do it again. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over, ho. Do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over, ho. Do you need anything like I need you? Let's go! Oh, Lordy! Here we go! Dude, come on! This is true! Do you need anything like we need Trump impeached? Do you need anything like Trump impeached? Do you need that fucking Trump piece of shit impeached? Anything like I need you? Oh, oh. Do you need to impeach that motherfucker? Dude. What a fucking clown, bro. Dude, you like that? Oh, do you need Trump impeached? Impeach the piece of shit. Dude, all right. Riffing! Oh! Fuck you, Trumpy. Get fucked on, Trumpy. Fuck you. Oh, let's go, dude. Impeach the creep. All right. That'll get us going. Let's go. Pine box. Dude, let's go. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit, dude. So somebody was asking about the stalker. Can I just tell you? So no, I have not heard anything back from my lady friend, the stalker. But something did happen, though, where I commented on something. Let me give you a quick rundown. And then we're adding a story, too, because something just broke that I noticed about TPUSA and this University of Oklahoma fucking professor that we got to talk about, okay? Where they're going after a transgender professor. But dude, it's such bullshit. But just a fun little story. So what happened was this, right?
You remember how this sort of photograph is what kicked off the shit with the stalker, right? That woman, she's a rage baiter, the woman with all the Botox and the fucked up plastic surgery or whatever. She says she hasn't had plastic surgery, but something's up with her face. She's halfway to Mar-a-Lago face. But it started with this like Thanksgiving rage bait that everyone commented on. And so now this Wisconsin Right Now, right? A right-wing breaking news, whatever organization from Wisconsin says they chimed in and look at this. They said the amount of horrific abuse these two women are getting in their comment threads from supposedly tolerant liberals is shocking to me, and I'm used to it. Pure hate. Yes, their post was a bit poking the bear, but they don't deserve to have their faces mocked, their families trashed, and to be called the C word repeatedly and other vile sexist responses. If two men posted the same shirts, I doubt the commentary would focus on their faces. So sorry, ex-leftists, but you don't get to claim you're the ones for women. Criticizing their shirts is fair game. They put them out there. Attacking their physical appearance and calling them vile sexual slurs is not. If you think I'm exaggerating, go read it. And before you go there, I'm consistent. This person says, I also criticize President Trump for calling a female reporter a piggy. The response, I was trashed by a bunch of people on the right. One even called me embarrassing for daring to criticize the president's comment. And I was subsequently called a piggy repeatedly by liberals. Such are the times we live in, I guess. From my experience, some people on both sides engage in this mistreatment of women on social media. It's all disgusting. I know Scarlett and Amber, and they are beautiful, engaged women who care about their communities and who have strong voices. Deal with it. Well, first off, dude, this woman is a scumbag. This Scarlett fucking Johnson, dude, she's a scumbag. She's a troll. She's a rage baiter. They're fucking religious, right? They're fucking trying to shove their religion down people's fucking throats, right? And they're anti-trans, anti-gay. They're just so toxic. But anyway, so I replied to this saying, go fuck yourself. We're not tolerant of rapists supporting clowns who rage bait and look like Botox freaks with bunker Bible eyes who then try to indoctrinate our kids with fake-ass pedo-supporting religion. Get fucked on, losers. All right, now, it's a little forward, my comment, but look at what they did, guys. Look at what they did. They then posted my comment saying the American left. Okay, that's what this Wisconsin Right Now. They called me the American left. All right. Now, I continued and I did respond to them. And I said, better than you assholes who try to cop a moral high ground while being complete hypocrites and hiding behind a toxic religion. Fuck you, clowns. No one is pretending you have any moral superiority left. But then I went on and I said, also, I'm not the American left, okay? I am just me, unfiltered, right? A lot of folks on the left are way more gracious than I choose to be, right? I am just a reaction to the Epstein bestie you elected, the man who uses slurs toward the disabled on fucking Thanksgiving, and then you have the nerve to judge my speech like, oh, fuck off, you toxic fuckers. And I mean, this is so accurate because this idea that like they're going to paint the whole left wing, like, dude, a lot of people on the left think I am too brash and mouthy. I don't represent the whole left. I represent me, and I am a reaction to their piece of shit fucking president. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude, I am the voice of all Gen Xers. I am, you know, she didn't put the white male, right? The American male. Dude, it's so funny, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fucking, they're so self-righteous. Yeah, you nailed it. The person who said so self-righteous. But this idea, though, that literally, dude, President Trump is like using slurs for the disabled. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it is so fucking crazy. Your stomach turns when you see the child in the intro waiting screen. Why is that? Right? Dude, why do you don't like the young dreamy child? Dude, I like that because it's kind of like that child was like me. I was sick all the time and was in the house looking at the world out like a big window. And that's how like much of my intellectual curiosity was forged, like looking at the world through a pane of glass. Yeah, I love that thing. But you know what I'm saying? Dude, smart move by, to frame this? Yeah. No, you know, it's like, it's so funny, man. They cop this moral superiority and yet they make a pact with the devil. You know what I'm saying? They do. They make a pact with the fucking devil and then they want to call us, right? Dude, it's so annoying. They want to call us names and shit, right? Feels bad sitting on a screen for a long time. Dude, you feel bad sitting on a screen? Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You know what's so crazy? You ready for this, guys? This is going to sound weird. And don't hate me for saying this, but like, I like the digital world better than like the face-to-face world. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I like the digital world better than fucking face-to-face world. I don't know what it is, right? When social media arrived and the digital world and like hanging out with computers, I've been on computers like 12 hours a day for like 15 years. And there's something about the interaction with computers and in the social media space that just feels so much more natural and tolerable to me. It's really weird. You know what I'm saying? It's really fucking strange, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, I enjoy people too, but like being out and around people is far more taxing for me than being in the digital space, right? It's wild. You know, it's like I love people, but they're so taxing. It's so taxing. It is for me, it is so emotionally draining to be in a space with other human beings. And being with them online is such a relief for me, you know? Yeah. It's also a more dangerous world now than 15 years ago with people. See, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tony, I'll be honest. I miss a lot of the tension, right? You know, and maybe I don't notice this. Maybe I'm missing out on what it's like in a lot of the world. But like, dude, I live in Portland where there's such a bubble here. Like, there's not a lot of tension in Portland. It's like Portland is like a giant safe space for people. I mean, if you go to the outskirts, I feel for the people though that are living in purple or red areas. Like we in Portland, we are so lucky. It's like, and I live in the city where it's just pretty much blue as shit. And you may run into some like Trump voter types, but they're real fucking demure around Portland. They're not like mouthy. Dude, a friend of mine, my buddy Elliot, he's a director of photography who shot like X and Pearl and Maxine, right? He shot all those movies. And he was filming an Amazon TV show that was in Georgia. And dude, he went out to like a boutique in the little downtown in this small town in Georgia. And he was like, dude, you would not believe I am like in a fucking another. He said, it feels like I'm in a fucking alien like landscape. He said he went to a boutique and like there was a dude in the boutique with his daughters and his wife, this big ass Trump voter slobby guy wearing a shirt with a bullet and a girl in a string bikini, and the shirt said, "I promise I'll just put in the tip." And he's out with his daughters, bro. And Elliot was like, what the fuck where am I, dude? Dude, it's like some dude like out with his fucking wife and daughters with some nasty ass shit on his shirt. Some fucking redneck. He was like, dude, that is like everybody in this town, bro. Oh. Oh, shit. Dude, it's crazy. And I know somebody said that, like, you know, Portland is supposed to be burning, but dude, it's not burning at all. Like, we literally don't have any fucking crime here comparatively. I mean, there's like occasionally a shooting, but it's, you know, it's in sort of the gangstery kind of part of town. Like there is a section of town where there are some Asian street gangs that, like, in like a part of the outskirts of town, there is like some type of, I don't know if it's like Vietnamese or something. There's some type of Asian street gang that operates on the outskirts of Portland, but that's nowhere near like the city proper. Yeah, we have a little bit of graffiti. I mean, there's occasionally, like, I live in a pretty urban part of town where, you know, occasionally there will be somebody who, like a drug user who is like nodded off on our street corner or something. And like normally when that happens, we just go out there and give them some water, you know, or like ask them if they're okay, see if they need the Cheers van or something. And if they're, you know, if you can't wake them up, you can call the Cheers van. There's a Cheers van is like it's like a van that takes people to the detox, where if you find somebody who's overdosed, you can call, or too drunk, you can call the Cheers van and they'll come and pick them up and take them to a detox and like shower them and put them in a bed and shit. You know, I mean, but other than that, there was one instance that happened a couple of years ago, right? It was like during the day where somebody had a mental health crisis. There was like a homeless guy who smashed my girlfriend's car window, and then he smashed my car window, and then he came up on our porch and he threw like a metal bar at our door, and he took a pair of shoes from the front door and was slamming them against the window. And then like I went to the window and was like, what are you fucking doing, dude? And he like walked away, and I went out there. But like in that instance, like, I don't know, I felt really bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt really like, you know, I mean, I could afford, you know, we swiped a credit card and we went and we fixed our windows, and that was that. It wasn't that big a deal. But this guy was obviously like fucked up and having a crisis, you know? So we have that kind of shit that happens occasionally where somebody's having a mental health crisis. You get that in cities, and there is some crime here, but like, guys, it's so minuscule. Like even when you look, guys, even when you look in the bigger cities where there's more crime, it's like less than 2% of the people that encounter any type of violent crime. Like, it is such a small percentage. And normally the people who have to deal with it most are the poor and minority people who fucking are squeezed into like really ravaged parts of the city that have no financial investment in the city or the neighborhoods or the schools, and they're struggling with fucking drugs, and maybe, you know, they have like some gang shit that's going on, like interactions with the police. But like, dude, for most people, you just are never going to encounter violent crime. And the chances of it are so tiny, which is why all of this like fear mongering about crime is so dumb. And man, I have literally walked the streets of every major fucking, you know, I've walked the streets of every major city in this country. And, you know, dude, violence is so down. Like violent crime really peaked in the 80s and 90s. And now it is like minuscule. And so people like, you know, talking this shit about crime is really dumb, dude. I think it's, you know, it's not really accurate at all. But yeah, dude, I thought this was pretty wild, man. The shit, these people are so self-righteous, dude. Everybody is so self-righteous. But now, guys, we got to look at this, okay? We got to look at this story because this story is crazy, all right? So look at this. So this girl is a fucking student at the University of Oklahoma, okay? All right? And we're going to get into this, but like, this is something that 𝗙PUSA is trying to champion here, okay? 𝗙PUSA is trying to champion this chick from Oklahoma, and look at what they put here, all right? This is their big fucking thing, dude. Again, it's this religious nonsense, okay? It is this religious nonsense, but wait till you see this, guys. All right, so 𝗙PUSA says, for a psychology course at the University of Oklahoma, Samantha 𝗙𝗪𝗪 was asked to write a 650-word essay reacting to an article about how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender. Of course, her name, Samantha 𝗙𝗪𝗪, right? Samantha 𝗙𝗪𝗪. Full necky. But, so it's a 650-word essay, okay, reacting to an article about how people are perceived based on societal expectations of gender. All right, a psychology class. In her essay, 𝗙𝗪𝗪 argued that the traditional gender roles should not be considered stereotypes. She cited the Bible to support her stance that eliminating gender in society would be detrimental because that would put people farther from God's original plans from humans. All right, now, you may think this is bad enough that, like, she's citing the Bible, okay, and talking about God's plan for humans, which has no business in a fucking psychology course, but it gets worse, okay? And yeah, the Bible is not a source, guys, okay? But wait until you read this essay, guys. This, just wait, trust here. She received 0 points out of 25 on the essay. Transgender professor Mel Curtis said Miss 𝗙𝗪𝗪 failed to use empirical evidence and called parts of her essay offensive. To call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially a minoritized population, the instructor wrote in the online grading platform. 𝗙𝗪𝗪 says she followed the assignment guidelines and should not be penalized for her religious viewpoints. OU officials point to the formal grade appeal process as the student awaits a decision. We at Turning Point OU stand with Samantha. We should not be letting mentally ill professors around students. See, again, they're attacking the transgender the professor. Clearly, this professor lacks the intellectual maturity to set her own bias aside and take grading seriously. Dude, using the Bible or talking about God in a psychology class, what the fuck are you doing? But it gets worse, guys. Professors like this are the very reason conservatives can't voice their beliefs in the classroom. Kudos to Samantha for leading by example and standing up for what she believes in. But now, guys, listen to me. It goes beyond the Bible being used and talking about God in this psychology class. First off, you shouldn't even be talking about God and the Bible in the psychology class. But you ready? Wait till you read her essay. This essay looks like it was written by a 4th grader, guys. I don't know how this fucking chick even got into college, okay? I shit you not, guys. I don't know how this girl even got into fucking college. Like, Oklahoma University has 0 requirements to get into their fucking school. Because wait until you fucking read this essay. You ready? Look at this shit. Okay, you ready? Here's her essay. Okay. Oh my God, dude. It says, this article was very thought-provoking and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender and the role it plays in our society. The article discussed peers using teasing as a way to enforce gender norms. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. God made male and female and made us differently from each other on purpose and for a purpose. God is very intentional with what he makes, and I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes. Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created the women in the image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently than men, and we should live our lives with that in mind. Like, dude, this isn't even Chat GPT. This is like a fourth grader who fucking wrote this thing. And again, using the Bible in this God shit, she doesn't even have any pull quotes. She doesn't have a fucking pull quote. She doesn't have any sort of reference here. She's not supporting anything with evidence. She's just literally saying, God created us. Oh, I'm a fourth grader. I've never written an essay before. I'm illiterate. And then it is frustrating to me when I read articles like this and discussion posts from my classmates of so many people trying to conform to the same mundane opinion so they do not step on people's toes. I think that is a cowardly and insincere way to live. It is important to use the freedom of speech we have been given in this country, and I personally believe that eliminating gender in our society would be detrimental as it pulls farther from God's original plan for humans. It is perfectly normal for kids to follow gender stereotypes because that is how God made us. The reason so many girls want to feel womanly and care for others in a motherly way is not because they feel pressured to fit into societal norms. It is because God created and chose them to reflect his beauty and his compassion in that way. In Genesis, God says that it is not good for a man to be alone. So he created a helper for man, which is a woman. Many people assume the word helper in this context to be condescending and offensive to women. However, the original word in Hebrew is 𝗙𝗟𝗑𝗍, and that directly translates to helper, equal to. Additionally, God describes himself in the Bible using 𝗙𝗟𝗑𝗍 or helper, and he describes his Holy Spirit as our helper as well. This shows the importance God places on the role of the helper, women's roles. God does not view women as less significant than men. Dude, he created us with such intentionally and care, and he made women in his image of being a helper and in the image of his beauty. If leaning into that role means I am following gender stereotypes, then I am happy to be following a stereotype that aligns with the gifts and abilities God gave me as a woman. I do not think men and women are pressured to be more masculine or feminine. I strongly disagree with the idea from the article that encouraging acceptance of diverse gender expression could improve students' confidence. Society pushing the lie that there are multiple genders and everyone should be whatever they want to be is demonic and severely harms American youth. Demonic. Dude, this thing needs to be set on fire, bro. And right? Oh my God, dude. I do not want kids to be teased or bullied in school. However, pushing the lie that everyone has their own truth and everyone can do whatever they want and be whoever they want is not biblical whatsoever. The Bible says that our lives are not our own, but that our lives and bodies belong to the Lord for his glory. I live my life based on this truth, right? And firmly believe that there would be less gender issues and insecurities in children if they were raised knowing they do not belong to themselves, but they belong to the Lord, okay? Dude, and then the last part is overall reading articles such as this one encouraged me to one day raise my children knowing that they have a heavenly Father who loves them and cherishes them deeply. and that having their identity firmly rooted in who he is will give them the satisfaction and acceptance that the world can never provide for them. My prayer for the world, and specifically for American society and youth, is that they would not believe the lies being spread from Satan that make them believe they are better off as another gender than what God made them. I pray they feel God's love and acceptance. It's who he originally created them to be, dude. Dude, yeah, I'm embarrassed for her too. This is fucking trash. It is like not college level. It's not well written. It's not well crafted. It's not crafted to support an argument. It is like a completely, you know what I'm saying? Like the fucking, here's the paper, okay? The best reaction papers illustrate students have read the assigned materials and engage in critical thinking about some aspects of the article, okay? Does the paper show a clear tie-in to the assigned article? Does the paper present a thoughtful reaction or response to the article rather than a summary? Is the paper clearly written? This paper's done none of this. This paper is a fucking, like a 5-page diatribe, right? Oh. It's a 5-page diatribe about how they hate gender and think everybody who disagrees with them is a demon, right? You know what I'm saying? Is a demon or the fucking product of Satan, and they use the Bible as a supportive document with no quotes, a Bible which is like has no basis in psychological reality whatsoever. Psychologists don't use the Bible as a clinical tome, right, to support their analyses, nor does sociology. The Bible is 2,000 years amalgamation of, 5,000 years of oral stories that were then picked apart and pilfered and put together and then, canonized as a Bible and then redrafted and changed and evolved over another 500 years. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, bro? Dude, this shit is terrible, right? And I'm like, dude, I was like, how the fuck did this woman even get into college, dude? Dude, like this essay, dude, right? And they're the only right thing to do is fire this professor. And you know what I'm saying? Dude, this is some bullshit, bro. It was a dog shit essay. I mean, that is literally, guys, that is one of the worst essays. Like this girl, I have no idea how this woman got into college. She is a fucking dunce, bro. She is. Dude, she is a fucking dunce. I shit you not. Dude, like, my God. Bro, it's crazy, though. You know what's funny, though, guys? Is I've dated some Christian fucking crazy girls. I have. Corrupting the innocent Christian girls was a pastime of mine at certain points in my rock and roll tenure. But like, dude, I never fucking dated one that was a fucking dunce. You know what I'm saying? There are people that are not, you know what I'm saying? There are fucking Christian girls out there that aren't fucking dunces, right? Dude, it is unbelievable. And then the professor did respond. Okay, here's what the professor said. The professor said, please note, I am not deducting points because you have certain beliefs, but instead I am deducting points for you posting a reaction paper that does not answer the basic questions for this assignment, contradicts itself, heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class, and is at times offensive, right? While you are entitled to your own personal beliefs, there's an appropriate time or place to implement them in your reflections. I encourage all students to question or challenge the course material with other empirical findings or testable hypotheses. But using your own personal beliefs to argue against the findings of not only this article, but the findings of countless articles across psychology, biology, sociology, etc., is not best practice. You argue that abiding by normative gender roles is beneficial. It is perfectly fine to believe this. But to then say that everyone should act the same while also saying that people aren't pressured into gendered expectations is contradictory, especially since your arguments reflect a religious pressure to act in gender stereotypical ways. You can say that strict gender norms don't create gender stereotypes, but that isn't true by definition of what a stereotype is. Please note that acknowledging gender stereotypes does not immediately denote a negative connotation, a nuance this article discusses. Additionally, to call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially a minoritized population. You are entitled to your own beliefs, but this isn't a vague narrative of society pushes lies, but instead the result of countless years of developing psychological and scientific evidence for these claims and directly interacting with the communities involved. You may personally disagree with this, but that doesn't change the fact that every major psychological, medical, pediatric, and psychiatric association in the United States acknowledges that biologically and psychologically sex and gender is neither binary nor fixed. This is the professor's comments. I implore you apply some more perspective and empathy in your work. If you personally disagree with the findings, then by all means, share your criticisms, but make sure to do so in a way that is appropriate and using the methodology of empirical psychology as aligned with the learning goals in this class. If you have any additional questions or concerns about this or would like some additional educational resources, I would be happy to discuss this further and provide you with them. Now, dude, I mean, that's realistic there, because the thing is if you want to disagree with the paper, all they're asking for is some empirical, like evidence from the body of psychology work, right? You can't, as a psychologist or studying psychology, be like, I disagree with what, DSM says about schizophrenia because I personally believe schizophrenia is caused by Satan and the devil. And so therefore you need to give me an A because, that's my personal belief. Dude, what the fuck, right? Can you imagine that? Or some guy going to, his engineering class and saying, the rules of trigonometry, I think it's satanic, actually. Really, like, Satan is involved in that equation, so we're going to do the equation this way. It's like, what the fuck are these people doing, bro? Right? Like, they think they get to simply break out God, and then the rest of us have to just get out of their way, right? That once they mention God, they don't have to obey the laws of science anymore. They can refute 1,000 years of research. You know what I'm saying? And just be like, no, I feel like it's Satan, right? Like, dude, literally there were transgender people before there was fucking religion, bro. Before there was even a Bible, there were transgender people, And like, so like, that's crazy, right? Dude, this is literally the worst fucking paper out here, dude. And I mean, hopefully people in here are just lambasting this. Dude, it seems like the teacher is not failing her because of her views, but because Samantha is bad at essays, bro. Dude, this was a really respectful response to Samantha's incredibly fucking... Dude, that essay was so bad, bro. Like, I have never seen a college level essay that was that bad, bro. Like, that shit was bad. Dude, I was writing better fucking essays in fucking middle school, dude. Have I gone through who Samantha is? Samantha's just her. Samantha 𝗙𝗪𝗏, right? It's this person. She's just a student at Oklahoma University. She wrote a paper that was terrible, poorly written, unsourced, using the Bible instead of empirical psychological evidence, right? Her whole thing was like a diatribe about how she hates gender and God says you're all demons. And then she got a 0, and then she went to her Turning Point USA chapter, and now they're trying to make it into some culture war bullshit. But dude, it was bad, dude. It was fucking horrible, bro. I mean, you can read it. Here, I'll put the link to this thing. I already read it. You can go back and watch it, or you can read it on your own time. But I have never read a college essay that was that bad. It's like, bro. Dude, so bad. Right? But they're going after the trans professor, and then they're attacking the trans professor, right? Dude. Dude, yeah. Dude, this seems like it wasn't even proofread, right? Yeah, dude, it is so crazy. Because the Bible, what does the Bible say? Dude, I'm telling you this. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you this. Look at this. I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. You're being dunked on, and you deserve it. Oh, shit. Bro, this is amazing. Dude. Dude, killer with the gifted. Let's go. Also, by the way, dude, I got to thank Cookie. All right. Hi, old Cookie, for dropping that membership in the very beginning. Thank you, hi, old Cookie. I'm sorry if I didn't get that before. I'm sorry I fucking forgot about it, but thank you. And thank you, Keeler. But yeah, dude, see, again, though, guys, like, this, you know, like this person said right here, too, however bad you're imagining this essay to be, it's so much worse. Cannot believe a college student wrote this. 0 out of 25 seems somehow generous. And it's true, you know, but this brings me, guys, to like a deeper topic in relation to this, where I am fucking offended by the way they're trying to invoke Christianity now. Okay? They are. I am offended that Christianity has become this blanket excuse for them. It is a tool that they get to wield that gets them out of participating in healthcare that protects their fellow citizens. It allows them to override 1,000 years of scientific fucking discoveries. They can override science and reality. They can allow their own personal convictions to overturn like empirical evidence that is placed right in front of them. It is like literally has become this like, yeah, it's like a free pass to escape culpability or participation in society, where they get to claim religion. And on top of that, they get to use it they try to claim some moral superiority while they're on Grindr, or they're molesting kids, or they're hanging out with rapists, or they're like being total crooks. They're liars, they're cheats, they're sneaks, they're thieves. And then they somehow are absolved from all of this while having a self-righteous ability to judge and pontificate to the rest of the world. And dude, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's at this point, it's like, unless you bring God down and put him on a podium and have him speak up, you can shove God and your Bible right up your ass. That shit is as meaningless to me as chapter 5 of a fucking Harry Potter book. I just don't care. It just has no meaning. It has no fucking bearing whatsoever on the you know, fucking quantifiable world that we live in. Okay? You're allowed to believe in it. You're allowed to live by whatever strictures, whatever codes are in that book. But like, none of that shit applies to us. If the Bible tells you abortion is murder, then fine, don't get an abortion and think it's murder. But it's not murder to me. And you don't get to tell me it's murder, or my girlfriend that it's murder. You don't, because it's not murder. Okay? You are choosing to believe it's murder, but that only applies to you. Anything in that book does not apply to anyone outside of you, you know? And I mean, I know they force their kids to obey that shit and they threaten them. You're going to go to hell. You're going to burn, gnashing teeth. You're going to suffer eternal damnation and all this shit. But like, dude, it's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking meaningless, right? Fucking meaningless. And you know, and I know, and meanwhile, actual murder, like cops killing people or soldiers killing people or fucking the doctor letting a mother die because he won't fucking save her life when there's a pregnancy complication, all of that they don't care about, right? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, 𝗙𝗪𝗏, I think that story's pretty fake. That trans OnlyFans entertainer story. I watched that video. I don't think it's real. I think they are just, you know, getting some clicks. I think they're doing some solid content, right? There are some holes in that story, right? You on Dance Party Gold? Yeah, let's go. Old Cookie, I'm glad you're here. Let's do the Dance Party Gold. But I did see it. I was very entertained by it. But dude, you ready though? There is something though that we should talk about, right? Is a different thing though. Is dude, Keeler, let's go. There's a goal. 45 minutes. Keeler upgraded the membership. Let's go, baby. But yeah. So the thing though that's really hard is like, even with this shit, okay? Even with this shit, in this thing, right? Where they said, you know, they stand with Samantha. We should not be letting mentally ill professors, right? So they're like, you know, they're fucking making these judgment calls about transgender people being toxic, like denying their existence. I mean, dude, you can't write a psychology paper where you're calling people fucking demons. You as a psychologist, you might be dealing with people who think there are demons and are having a mental breakdown. Dude, let's go, Keeler. And I have not checked out that story about a pop star singer murderer. I have not, right? But dude, yeah, this shit is crazy, right? This essay, this is one of the worst fucking essays I have ever seen, right? It is unbelievable. Yeah, dude, I love this. The assignment wasn't, what does the Bible say, right? Yeah, good point there. Oh my God, that fucking ratioed the fucking shit out of them. The assignment wasn't, what does the Bible say? Right? Dude, the student is dumber than a sack of bricks. Dude, yeah. Fucking idiots, bro. Dude, a brick free throw. You like that? Dude, that's what it is, dude. Dude, I want to know, what is the acceptance rate? Dude, what is... I want to know what the acceptance rate is at Oklahoma University. Oh, there explains it. Dude, 77% acceptance rate. Yikes, dude. That means basically like everybody gets in. Now we know how Samantha 𝗙𝗪𝗏 got into college, bro. 77%. Dude. Shit, boss. Oh my God, bro. Dude, yeah. You're right. The 23% that didn't make it were probably like students of color, right? What is the acceptance rate at UCLA? I went to UCLA. What is that one? Was 9.4%. All right, there you go, dude. I went to UCLA. The acceptance rate 9.4%. Oh shit, that's a real college, right? The acceptance rate of fucking Oklahoma. University of Oklahoma, 77%, bro. That's insane. Dude, I wonder what Berkeley is. Berkeley's higher. Berkeley was 11 to 12%. All right, I got accepted to Berkeley too. Right? Let's go, dude. Although I had some grades, bro. I had some fucking grades. All right, we're gonna look at that guy in a minute. Dude, 77%, man. That is nuts. All right. Oh shit. Your dad went to UCLA for business management? All right. Let's go. I went for aerospace engineering, and then I switched to econ business, and then I switched to English creative writing, and then I quit. Right? Then I became a rock and roller. All right. Oh, dude, yeah, no, Oklahoma is the bottom, dude. Dude, yeah, the business management school was a lot of that. I believe it was up on North Campus, right? So the way UCLA was divided was there was Brew and Walk, right? There's like the Wooden Center where the basketball team is in the sports fields, right? And then there's a thing called Brew and Walk that goes up the campus, okay? And it kind of like leads you up a hill into the center of campus. And that's where they have like, there's food places and there's like, the student store and all that shit is on Brew and Walk. But then UCLA gets split into North Campus and South Campus. So you take Brew and Walk and it gets you up by Royce Hall and the big main buildings, right? Those big Royce Hall and the library and all that shit. And then there's North Campus to the left and South Campus to the right. But UCLA is like really divided, okay? Where South Campus is like the engineering and the sciences. And then at the very bottom of the South is the medical center. And then North Campus is where you have like the film school and all the art stuff and all the liberal sort of like sociology and shit like that. So there's like a big divide, right? You go up Brew and Walk and then everybody splits off. And if you're North Campus, you don't really see a lot of like South Campus people, right? Like you might take an earth and space science or astronomy or some shit and you'll have South Campus. But the business school though, the upper division business school though, I think was on in North Campus, if I remember right. There's like a whole building that was like devoted to that fucking like business management or whatever. No, it's pretty cool. I worked up in North Campus. I actually worked in the student center, the food. It was nice. Dude, North Campus was amazing, right? Dude, is that what it is? The Anderson School? Is that what the Anderson School Business Management? Yeah, it's like I remember it was one of those fucking like white and glass buildings that looked all like had a very 1960s look to it. The building, right? I bet there's a photo of it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, there it is. That's the fucking, right? It was like pretty crazy. I mean, that's the vibe, isn't it? Right? It's totally like had that vibe, right? A long time ago. But yeah, so yeah, UCLA is like in Westwood, which is sort of on the west side, right? It is like, you know, I mean, it was pretty cool, right? Like, it was a cool place to go to school because the way it's set up, right? It's sort of like before Brentwood, and you're just inside, just to the west of Beverly Hills, but it's like the campus is massive, and then the city of Westwood is like attached to the campus, and then the sororities were on one side of the school, and then the fraternities were on the other side, and then the apartments were all mostly on the fraternity side because the sorority side was where the houses were. But then all the student living for the most part was on the fraternity side in apartments and fraternities. And then the dorms were on the west side of campus right across from that. So all of the students fucking were on one side of the campus, but then you walk into Westwood and you have like a city that is basically just your college, right? There were like bars and fucking, you know, like there was an all-you-can-eat sushi place. I remember this sushi place called Light and Healthy. It was $6 all-you-could-eat sushi for lunch and like $12 for dinner, all-you-can-eat, right? So we would go, right? We would go for $6, right? You would go at like 3 p.m. and go have all the fucking sushi you could eat for $6, dude. I mean, it was insane, bro. And we all got fake IDs and would go out to the bars. There was like Yesterdays. There were just a bunch of local bars and shit. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty wild, dude. And there's so many food spots. Like right in that little town area, you had like burrito places. You had the all-you-can-eat sushi. There was a Fat Burger. There was just so much shit like in Westwood. It was cool, dude. It was kind of idyllic in a way, right? You know, no, this was kind of before Starbucks. There wasn't like, I don't know when Starbucks like became popular, but nobody in my high school, nobody drank coffee. Nobody drank like coffee at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we drank sodas and shit, but like nobody was going to Starbucks or I mean, we started sort of drinking coffee, I think, in college, like from the like student center spots, but nobody, 71, no, it was 87. But there was really no, like, I don't recall seeing a Starbucks until the 90s, right? Then the Cooperage was there. Yeah, no, the Cooperage was there. And there was an arcade and a bowling alley and all that shit. Keep an eye on the dance goal. Yeah, no, we're good. We got 33 minutes, right? Yeah, nobody was really, like, did the coffee thing. We didn't really do it. It's weird. I remember for me, the coffee stuff, I didn't really start in until I moved to Hollywood in the 90s. It was like 90, I think it was like 90, 91, right? Or 1990, 1991, I moved to Hollywood. And then I lived down the street from a local coffee shop that had music and poetry readings and shit. And that's when my coffee relationship started, right? Was in the 90s. It was a total 90s thing. Dude, let's go, Q, keep it going. We will, sir. Started in Seattle in 71. Yeah, dude, there was no Starbucks, though. Like, there was not a Starbucks. I mean, I bet there's one now, right? Let me see. I'm sure there's one now. In Westwood, there are 3 of them. Oh, let me see. I'm going to see when they opened. It looks like Starbucks first expanded into California in 1991. Dude, I nailed it, bro. That's when I started drinking coffee, was in 90 and 91. Let's go, Pinky. And Starbucks rolled into Westwood in 1991, right? Dude, isn't that crazy? There it is, right? Dude, Pinky, let's go! So, yeah, there was no Starbucks. Dude, nobody even drank like mochas and shit in the 80s. We didn't. That shit, I feel like that shit really came around when the Seattle music scene started blowing up. I'm telling you guys, it was Seattle and the music scene from Seattle that brought that coffee culture into the mainstream. Okay, people would get coffee at like a Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, they still, if you go to New York City, it's Dunkin' Donuts, right? And even when at the coffee shop, my local coffee shop, we drank coffee or iced coffee. We didn't really do a lot of the espresso shit. And then it was during the 90s, man, was when shit started fucking really blowing up, right? In the 90s, Seattle and the coffee shop and the poetry shit became like a fucking thing, dude. Right? But I personally do. Keeler, let's go. Dude, I don't like Starbucks at all. I can't stand it. I like their coffee cake. That's it. Their coffee cake is amazing. But their coffee, to me, it just tastes like hot ass with nasty overtaste, like aftertaste. I only will drink Starbucks if I have to, right? If I'm in Vegas, sometimes the only coffee they have in the hotel is a Starbucks, and then I'll choke it down to have a quad mocha that you pay like $18 for, right? But dude, for the most part, fucking, Starbucks is terrible. Here in Portland, we have a local coffee shop called Stumptown. That's really, really good, right? Stumptown, let's go. Dude. You don't use caffeine? I quit caffeine for 8 years, but now I like it again, right? Dude, the coffee here is good, though, in Portland. Sunday afternoon, Tasmanian Snow Puppies, Twitch. Let's go. Thank you, Sam. Oh. Dude, Starbucks is ass, bro. It is. It is, dude. All right, we need 14 and 28, guys. We're going to secure this dance party. Dude, hi, old cookie with the gifted. Let's go. So, guys, dude, I want to talk about this particularly harrowing story, right? About this Jesse Mack Butler guy, okay? That, like, dude, this shit is gnarly, bro. I guess I'll show you the fucking tweet. We'll start it there, okay? But trigger warning, guys. What we're getting into is a pretty heavy story, okay? It is not for the weak of heart, but it is fucking... Hold on, I'm getting there. Shit is rough, dude. But I feel like it needs to be covered. Dude, I'm just gonna fucking search. Right here. Okay? So, this guy. This is Jesse Mack Butler. All right? From Stillwater, Oklahoma. He's 18 years old. Okay? And he's from a MAGA family. He's a MAGA kid. There's no doubt this kid is an Andrew Tate fan, a Charlie Kirk fan. Okay? His father was a coach. Well, not a coach. He was the director of personnel for the University of Oklahoma football team. Okay? His dad, Mack Butler. We're going to look at his dad, right? Yeah, no, I know. These are the We Are Charlie Kirk. These are the MAGA men. But like, hey, here's another photo of him after his court date with him. Dude, we're going to take a closer look at that photo, right? But this is him. I mean, look at this guy, dude. Look at this guy wearing his fucking whatever leather shoes. His mom over here. There's his sister with a nice iron cross, right? Basically, a fucking, her belt buckle is like a crusader symbol, like the shit that's on, 𝗙𝗍𝗽𝗀𝗃's fucking chest. Okay. And I mean, this is them in the court. Dude, so gross. But again, though, guys, you ready? So this guy, all right, he got charged for rape, okay? And two girls, okay? Two girls that were, I believe they were 16. He was 17 at the time of the attacks. He was over 17 when he was arrested, okay? And he ended up getting arrested. He was facing like 78 years in prison, right? And yeah, you know what happened though is he got off. No jail time, right? And like, we're going to look at this shit. Gnarly. And why? Because the judge decided to give him this like youthful offender credit. Even though if he had been a black guy, they would have tried him as an adult. Even if he was like 14, they would have been, let's try him as an adult. But this rich white MAGA guy with the MAGA shithead football team working, Oklahoma State University dad, he gets off. Okay, he gets off. And now one of these girls had to have surgery on her neck. This crime was severe. Okay, we're gonna look at this real quick. All right, I saved some fucking things here. Let me get my fucking pieces of information. It's a gnarly story, guys. All right. So let me get my shit straight here. Give me 1 sec. I have a bunch of shit saved. All right, so here's first. Let's get the basis of the story. All right, we're gonna look at the basis of the story, dude. This story is pretty. It's pretty hard, boss. All right, it is. All right. So here is, these are the judges, okay, that let this guy go free. So we'll start off with the body cam footage. Here's the body cam footage of this guy being arrested. Okay, this is Jesse Mack Butler. This is the person getting arrested. He is 18 at the time of his arrest. All right, there's one of his victims in the hospital. Now, again, we're going to look at some video. All right. These girls, like one of them, he like choked her repeatedly, like really harmfully, guys. I mean, this is some frightening shit. She needed to have surgery. It is some scary fucking shit, boss. But here's him getting arrested.
Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be very long. But there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now, you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs? You know we're doing this. It's okay.
You have a- Yeah.
I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way.
Stay silent.
Okay. Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Say your prayers.
Okay, so we will.
Say your prayers. Dude, the rapist needs to say your prayers. God's going to take care of you. You're going to be president one day. Say your prayers.
He's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yep.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department.
Yeah.
On Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that
perfect.
we're the ones that picked him up.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and he's over at the county.
Awful experience for the child.
Pass it down, spread your feet for me. Nothing on your side.
That's Jess. Clean it up.
All right. So, yeah, no, he's
And
out.
your,
I mean, dude, he didn't go to fucking jail at all. Now, I got to tell you guys, okay? I got to tell you guys that as somebody who...
But right now,
somebody who it's complicated for a mother. I'm not letting this mother off the hook because I don't think she's reconciling what her son has done. Okay. That is the problem, but it is hard. We had some of this in my family. One of my half brothers, okay. One of my half brothers who I found out later molested me. Okay. Like he's sexually deviant, okay? And he raped a woman when he was in his mid-20s in a really violent fucking way. And he went to prison for it. And then he got out and he violated parole and he went to prison again. And he's currently in prison under a 980 law in Wisconsin. And that shit is complicated for my mom, for her to reconcile that one of her children did that. It was very hard for her to deal with. Now, my mom did not like cover it and pretend like it didn't happen. Okay. My mom faced up to the reality of it and she didn't go into some sort of we're going to get you off protective mode. She didn't do that shit. But for her to reconcile the fact that she gave birth to this kid and he was traumatized as a youth, he had a really abusive, sexually abusive dad. Later, I found out he had molested me. So, Tiana, thank you. Let's go. So super complicated, right? But like, it can be very complicated for parents, okay? Now, the thing though about this woman, though, we're going to get is different because this woman is not my mom. This woman is not like I will grant a lot of grace to parents of have kids that commit heinous crimes because obviously having seen it from inside the family, I know how complicated that is. But like the problem is this woman, I don't think this woman even believes her son committed a crime. Her whole thing is just about getting him off and he didn't really do it. And these girls are being unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? She is not like my mom at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can even see from this behavior where she's like, don't say nothing. We're going to get the family lawyer down there as opposed to like admit what you did and fucking, like get help and pay the price. Dude, Keeler, let's go. 18 minutes left. Let's go, guys. We need 13 and 17. But yeah, this gets even worse. Dude, Jess, let's go. Oh my God, Jess, it's huge. Yes. Yeah, no, this mom, like, just watch. There's some crazy footage. Like, let's watch there's more footage of the mom that we're going to watch. All right, so yeah, let's watch this clip though. We'll watch a couple news clips here, and so we can get the bulk of the story. Then I'm gonna find the other footage of his mom. Dude, his mom is super toxic, and like I said before too, right? His dad, okay, his dad is this guy. This is his dad. He was the director of football operations. Okay, Matt Butler at Oklahoma State. This is a MAGA family. This is a MAGA Christian, say your prayers, be a good Christian, grapist family. Dude, PJ, let's go. Dude, why is his dad 100? He's not. That's just a photograph. Like he's, you know, I mean, he's probably in his 60s. But yeah, he got off because he was from a very prominent family. But let's watch this story, guys. This story is fucking is brutal. Dude, when I saw his dad, I'll be honest with you guys. When I saw his dad, right? I honestly thought his dad was gay when I saw him, right? Here, if you look at his dad, there's an interview with his dad that I was watching a little bit of. Not much, but I was like, dude, right? Where is he? Dude, yeah, look at this.
Watch young people fatigue and their attention spans low.
Dude, that's his dad, right? Dude, I mean, pretty backwoods when I was like, my gaydar started going off when his dad got on the fucking screen, right? I was like, something's going on there. But, right? Oh, shit. His dad is too old to have an 18-year-old son. I mean, you would think, right? He had him late. He is Charlie Kirk. Yeah, but guys, see, here's the deal, though. You ready? The deal that I have with this, guys, is this. We have these MAGA people, this right-wing Trumpist shit to attack the LGBTQ and especially transgender people and trans women. But at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the fucking day, the most dangerous thing to a woman out there is a MAGA man. Okay? Plain and simple. The most dangerous thing there is for a woman in this world is a MAGA Trump voting man. The rapists and the domestic abusers, they are almost uniformly religious MAGA men. It is like 96% or something like that. They are the most dangerous thing. This is why the women choose the bear, guys. Okay? And it is so toxic. The misogyny and the fucking, you know, the male privilege and the belief that like men don't need to be accountable for their actions and the belief that women are just vessels for birthing. I mean, it's gross, dude. It is gross. And yeah, it is it's in the Bible. I mean, the Bible is gnarly when it comes to that shit. It is weaponized insecurity. It is shame. Dude, it's huge amounts of sexual shame with like power afforded to the men and no responsibility, weaponized insecurity, you know, a sense of entitlement, you know, and indoctrination that makes women secondary, you know, birthing vessel type objects. And you know, this idea that a man is allowed to fucking take whatever, you know, no concern about consent. I mean, think about this, guys. Religion itself does not believe in consent. When you're a kid, if you're born into a religious family, there is no consent, guys. They don't get your consent before they force you into religion. They don't have to wait until you are of consenting age to consent to be taken to church or forced to go to Sunday school. You have no consent. Your entire religious worldview is pressured and placed on you with no fucking consent, often with physical punishment attached to it, like brutal shit. It is like there is no consent in religion. It's not even a fucking thing, man. It is all about obedience, yes, obedience and subservience and submission, okay? It is. That's why, like, religion and sexual abuse are like hand in hand. Religion and domestic abuse, religion and grapes are like, it is like hand in hand, man. It's so gross. But yeah, let's watch this segment.
And while there were even more and way bigger charges that the state likely could have thrown at this kid, like attempted murder, the two alleged victims and their families had every reason to believe that the wheels of justice were hard at work on this case, both for them and for the accused, Jessie Mack Butler. And before I tell you what ended up happening, let me tell you why he faced those specific charges, what he actually did to those two girls.
Gnarly.
You should know that these details are extremely graphic. They are despicable, but they are critical to this story, especially when you find out how the judge came down in this case. So fair warning, trigger warning, what I'm about to list out for you is very uncomfortable to say and to hear. A police affidavit says a girl who's identified only as LS because she's a minor dated Jessie Butler for about 3 months, starting in January of last year. She was 16 at the time. And during that time, the victim said Butler repeatedly raped and attempted to rape her and would strangle her if she refused. The teenage girl needed surgery to repair the damage done to her neck by the strangulation. And her doctor told her that she would have died had that strangulation lasted another 30 seconds. The girl said that she gave in to Jessie Mack Butler because he threatened to kill her and he threatened to kill her family if she didn't give in. A separate affidavit says in March of last year, Butler took up with another 16-year-old girl identified only as KS. And that relationship lasted 6 months, but this teenager also said that Butler was aggressive and violent with her and says she went along with all the unwanted sex to avoid being hurt further. This victim also said that one time when she did refuse, Butler strangled her too. But get this, he recorded himself strangling her until she passed out. And lest you think this might be just a he said, she said, police later found that video on Jessie Mack Butler's phone.
He recorded it and he had it on his fucking phone.
So that's what we call evidence. Jessie Butler pleaded not guilty to everything, as was his right off the bat.
He pleaded not guilty. He's literally, think about that, guys. He's got the video evidence of him choking a woman out on his phone, and the motherfucker pleads not guilty. See, that's what I'm talking about, where I'm like, bro, that shit is not okay, man. It's like, fine, you fuck up, you commit a crime, own it. Own your shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
But in the coming months, for reasons that I will not pretend tonight to understand, the DA's office struck a deal with Butler's lawyers to change his status from adult to youthful offender. The victim's families begged the DA, please do not do that. Please, no. But in July, a judge decided to sign off on this. And in August, Jessie Mack Butler changed his plea from not guilty to no contest, meaning he knew there was ample evidence to convict him. And you should know that a conviction is the result of a no contest plea, right?
So first thing he does is he pleads not guilty, then they strike a deal, he pleads no contest, and off he goes. 78 years of prison time, he got nothing.
What you get, convicted. By the way, I mentioned there were 10 counts before, but by August, there was one more. So the grand tally now stood at 11. The new count was for violating a protective order, which, oh my God, facing 10 felony counts and violating a protective order should have been a hell of a red flag for anybody. Somebody. But the very same day that happened, Butler was sentenced to 78 years in prison, which sounds like a fitting punishment for somebody who nearly kills 2 teenage girls and rapes them repeatedly with all sorts of things. But as a youthful offender, Jessie Mack Butler was also entitled to special treatment, like a rehabilitation plan, which was drawn up by the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs, and that plan was presented to the court last week. This new punishment...
Look at that. 0 jail time. He got 150 hours of community service. Guys, I got more community service than that for a DUI, bro. For a DU fucking I, okay? I'm serious. I had a DUI and I think I got 300 hours of community service. Yeah, Caltrans. You go on the fucking side of the freeway. It's horrible, dude. It's like in August. It's like 150 degrees up there. You're clearing brush off the freeway. Dude, it fucking sucks ass. But I got 300 hours for a DUI, bro. Dude, this guy got 150 hours. No jail time. Because again, his daddy was a football director of operations. They're very prominent, wealthy family. White guy. He was like supposedly good at baseball. Like a lot of times these overweight athlete types are, right? Isn't that gnarly? Dude, that shit is gnarly. Those girls almost died. But guys, it gets worse because I have some text messages from this kid. He like violating the protective order. They told him to like stay away from people. And he went ahead and was like contacting them anyway. And he's still been like trying to date girls, even though he's not supposed to. He's not supposed to have social media. And there's some suspicion that he has social media too. I mean, this shit is gnarly.
Called for daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of community service. Bam. They really brought down the hammer, huh? 150? Oh, that's like...
Dude, look at her.
3 weeks if you work really hard.
Dude, she is fucking pissed. And now guys, like, think about this. Just think about this for a minute. Because I know guys, a lot of guys bristled when Me Too was around or whatever. And they're like, oh, you have to worry about like consent and all this. But like, guys, how do you think women in America feel when they see this? Where over and over again, somebody has video evidence of them raping and abusing a woman on their phone and they get no punishment, right? You have rapists that become the, Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the president, right? No punishment. You have Brock Turners, okay, who get arrested, okay? Brock Turners who get arrested and in the act, caught, and they get no jail time because they're from a wealthy family and they're a swimmer at Stanford. Yes, Brett Kavanaugh is another one. Clarence Thomas, right? They can be on the Supreme Court. His name is Jessie Mack Butler. And again, he is a MAGA, Andrew Tate, Charlie Kirk fan, rapist, okay?
This new plan is scheduled to stay in effect until Jessie Mack Butler turns 19. And that, my friends, is less than a year from now. So, wow, long.
So for 1 year, he has check-ins and counseling. 1 year of check-ins and counseling and no social media and a curfew. Bro, isn't that brutal? Like, that shit is brutal. Unfucking believable, boss. Now, let me find the other video of his mom. He should be in prison, yes, for a long time. But there's some other video of his mom with the cops. Let me find it. Maybe I have it on YouTube. Let me find it. Give me 1 sec. I collected some links here. Unfucking believable, bro. All right, so here is, let me find the oh, here it is. Here it is. Watch this. This is the one, dude.
Hello, are you Jackie?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Jackie. I'm Detective Bruce with the 𝗪𝗪𝗡 Police Department. We're here because we have a warrant for Jesse's arrest. I assume you know that already. Okay, is he here?
Yes.
Okay.
I told him not to answer the door till I got home. He's scared to
Okay.
death, so.
So here's what's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna take him into custody.
Dude, she's like, he's scared to death. Dude, what the fuck, bro?
His bond is $25,000.
Okay.
Once he gets to the jail and we get him booked in, well, I guess on the way to the jail, I guess you could contact a bondsman.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if you have 25 grand lying around, you can do that. But if you contact a bondsman, then they can post his bond and he can get right out today.
Okay.
So, and
Like,
during,
what kind of time frame does that look like, just out of curiosity? Like, midnight tonight or
no,
an hour?
like you can contact a bondsman and
yeah,
it'll be
I'm
like an
best
hour and a
friends
half
with
or something.
Candy Baker, I'm sure y'all know
Yeah.
Candy.
So-
She's the one that told me.
Like
I'm
an
best
hour and a
friends
half
with
or something.
Candy Baker, I'm sure y'all know
Yeah.
Candy.
So,
She's the one that told me.
Dude, isn't that crazy? She's just so nonchalant, this woman is. You know what I mean? She's so nonchalant, right? But, dude, this shit is brutal. All right, hold on. We have some other videos here. Okay? You ready? Guys, it gets worse, though. Okay? It gets worse because you got to see what his mom did. Okay? You ready?
Jesse Mack
You ready?
Butler's
Look at this. So, what came out in the trial?
Jesse Mack Butler's
What came out in the trial, guys, was that fucking his mom was privy to this. One of these girls, he was at the house while his mother was in the house. They were in like a TV room or a theater room, and his mom heard the girl screaming. And she went to the door and knocked on the door and is like, is everything okay in there? And he's like, yeah, mom, we're fine. And she just never walked in. You know what I'm saying? Dude, One Flew Over, dance, let's go. So his mom is like complicit. Oh shit, dude. Oh fuck, bro. We let the time expire. God damn it. All right, we'll reset the goal, dude. My bad. That's my bad, dude. Let's fucking, we're gonna reset it. All right, we'll get it. I fucked up. We'll start it over. But his mom, dude, this is crazy.
mom heard the screams of one of Jesse Mack Butler's mom heard the screams of one of Jesse's victims and did not stop it. Let me reword that. The mother of convicted serial assaulter Jesse Mack Butler heard Jesse attacking one of his victims in her own home and did nothing to stop it. She knocked on the door of their movie room and asked, "Is everything okay?" And when her darling baby boy Jesse told her everything was fine, she walked away, knowing she had just heard a young girl fighting off an attack and screaming no. It would be hard to blame a family member for someone else's actions, but when a 17-year-old boy feels comfortable enough to bring 3 different girls to his home with at least his mother present, assault them, choke them unconscious, record it, and nearly take the life from one girl, there is a serious problem in that house. And considering this vile human was convicted of his crimes, but then in a disgusting miscarriage of justice was allowed to pretty much walk free, I will not sleep until every girl and young woman in the country knows what he is capable of.
Yeah.
Jesse Mack Butler is a dangerous person who has progressively become more violent and more sadistic in just a few months' time. I cannot imagine what he is ultimately capable of.
Yeah,
Jessie
dude.
Mack
I
Butler-
mean, it is crazy, guys. This shit is bona fide. Dude, let's go. Keeler. Let's go, baby. Dude, James, let's go. We're getting it this time. All right, we're not going to fuck it up this time. There was one I missed too earlier, which was One Flew Over Dance Dance. Let's go. I know we got all wrapped up in the Jessie Mack Butler shit, but yeah, dude, his mom is crazy. That is unbelievable, dude. She's like, I mean, I just can't even imagine this. You know, I can't even imagine, like, if, you know, hearing a young girl scream in my house, I can't imagine not fucking going in there and making sure that everybody was okay. You know what I'm saying? There would be no dismissing and pretending like this shit didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, dude. What the fuck are these people doing? But
Right now, you do have to come with.
so there's another thing here that we can look at, okay? About this. Look at, we've seen the arrest. But I want to get the text messages. Dude, there were, let me see. I think it was in here. I guess I didn't save it, but so, dude, this shit, he texted these girls, okay? Yeah, dude, he texted the girls after the fact, okay? Where, like, while this was going down, okay, he fucking texted the girls trying to get them to not press charges, okay? Let me find this. Give me a sec here to find it. I mean, it's some despicable shit, guys. Yeah, the judge, that old woman, is crazy. All right, here it is. Oh, I guess I can't do it. But are you ready? Here we go. Hold on.
Reduced to community. That 78-year sentence was magically yet legally reduced to community service, counseling, and a curfew once Butler was leaving. That 78-year sentence was magically yet legally reduced to community service, counseling, and a curfew once Butler was legally reduced from an adult rapist and strangler to a youthful offender. A digital journalist named Justin Shepard, whose online handle is Just in the Nick of Crime, obtained a text that he says Butler sent to one of the girls that he brutalized. The text says, and I quote, "IK, I know, I ruined your life and I'm so sorry, but please, I'm begging you to convince her," another victim, "not to go to the principal, please. If you did love me at all, please, I could lose everything. Please, I'm scared. I know what I did to you was awful. Everything about me is, and I am so sorry for everything. Hopefully one day you can forgive me. From the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. Please say something." The girl did say something, all right.
Dude, isn't that crazy? Dude, Dude, one flew over. Send him to prison in Cali. They'll know what to do. Yes, they will. Actually, late enough to send a super chat because you were clapping cheeks. All right, let's go, dude. You love Portland Laser on your last trip last month. By the way, very tempted to move there. It's a great city, boss. I dig it. Right? It's small, but it's fucking great. Right? I mean, depending on where you live. Coming from LA and New York, it's fucking tiny. But, dude, isn't that crazy? So he was reaching out to some other girl he knew, like trying to say, like, hey, like, help me get her to not go to the principal. I know I was shitty to you, but you gotta fucking protect me. I mean, he's so dirty, dude. He's so grimy. And you're right, he is not sorry. He pled not guilty. Okay? You don't plead not guilty and then switch it to no contest to get off. If you're sorry, you plead guilty and you fucking take the pain. Here's open. He and his mom get sued into oblivion. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. But there is, I will say though, they've done some creative shit. I'll show you in a minute.
What did you learn from Jesse's family member who called you? Let's start there.
So basically what I learned, I mean, there's really a lot that you could go into, but one of the things I learned is that some of these people, extended family members, are getting harassed. And, you know, basically what they wanted to make clear was that, hey, we do not support, we do not condone what he did. They were shocked, as most of us are, that the punishment was so, or I'm using the word punishment, you know, loosely, was so lenient. They expected there would be some accountability for this. They were shocked that there wasn't. And they wanted to make it very clear that, hey, we do not stand on this side. We're not standing on the side of this family. We do not condone what Jessie did, and we're just flat out as shocked as everybody else is.
Dude, isn't that crazy? Now I remember where I got this other stuff. Son and mom have to go to prison. That's simple. Yes. So let me open up my Instagram because just in the nick of time had a bunch of footage, and I did save some of that shit in my Instagram fucking bookmarks folder. Let me open this shit up. Saved. There it is. All posts. So we have, oh yeah. Here's the shit we got. This is some of the extended footage with his mother.
Told the
All right, you ready? This is the extended footage with his mom.
So my attorney told the police
Oh, my bad.
that we would bring him in.
So
Did you not get that message?
I did, and I called back, and I never got a call back from him.
When did you call him? Because he's called you several times too, he said.
I've only had one voicemail from him, and I called him back after that.
You see that? The mom is like, she's miffed that like, oh, we were supposed to be able to bring him in. She's trying to like fish with this officer of like, I had arranged with someone for us to bring him in because they're from a prominent family, and she didn't like the fact that he got arrested. I mean, dude, look at Oklahoma though. Look at this. This is like the nice part of town. What a fucking shithole though, bro. It is like, dude, it's so gnarly, dude.
Sorry, I'm trying to get you a copy of this warrant. And I haven't received anything from him, so. Other than that one phone call. And that was several months ago. Probably like.
You didn't tell him you were doing this today.
Probably the attorney?
Yeah.
No. There would be no reason for me to tell him.
But he left you several messages about Jessie.
He left me one message, and I returned his call, and he didn't call me back. So that I took that generally. I don't want my client to talk to you. So when I return the message and then it's not, he doesn't make any effort to call me back. That's kind of what I have to go with.
Okay.
Dude, she's such a, like, right? She's such a smarmy. The way she's like, when did you talk to him? When did you call him? When did you, right? You know what I mean? I mean, dude, there's a lot on this guy, okay? He almost killed one of these girls, right? 11 felonies of rape, SA, strangulation. He was tried as an adult. The Butlers are so cold. They really are. Again, He was 18 when this went to trial. He was 17 at the time that the crimes happened. But dude, they try young people as adults for way less serious crimes all the time. Okay? He changed his plea to no contest later on after they worked out a deal. Originally, he pled not guilty, even though they had video footage on his phone of him abusing one of the girls. Okay? Then this judge, Susan Worthington, who is connected to Oklahoma State Athletics, I think her husband or something, right? She has some connection to Oklahoma State University, which is where his dad was the director of football operations. So his dad was a bigwig in the football program, right? And so this judge then decided to grant him youthful offender status. And so, I imagine there's an election. I would imagine this judge, if there's an election, this judge is going to be gone. It's going to be just like the judge with the Brock Turner, the judge who let Brock Turner off. They fucking outed his ass. They got rid of him. I imagine this one's going to be gone. Right now, there is an upheaval. There is like people are freaking out in Oklahoma about this. Freaking the fuck out. Okay? And instead of facing a 78-year sentence, he got 150 hours of community service, counseling, and a curfew. Now, I don't even know if he's registered as a sex offender. I don't think he is. I don't think he even had to register as a sex offender. We can look into that. But he literally walked out with less community service than I got for a DUI. All right. His rehab plan and psychological evaluations are also sealed. So he's supervised for 1 year until he's 19, right? It's less than a year actually. And all of his psychological stuff is sealed. So he's not registered. I didn't think he was. All of his stuff is sealed. So there's no access to his profile or anything like that. One victim said he choked her out until she blacked out. She's the one who had to have surgery. Doctor said 30 more seconds, she probably would have died, right? 11 charges, 10 violent, 7 felonies, and he got nothing. The victims are livid, okay? And this too, people close to the case say he's still contacting girls. Like, are you single? He's still trying to hook up with girls at his high school. Right? And he admitted it. Nothing. Dude, nothing. There's all the fucking charges. Dude, it's just absolutely brutal, dude. Unbelievably brutal, this case. Right? And the judge, the judge, see, he was a minor when the crimes occurred. He was 17. And so the judge did give him that youthful offender exemption in order to be able to like let him off, which is fucking pretty brutal shit. Okay? Pretty brutal shit. Now, the thing though that's crazy about this is the people, like I said, people have been pissed off about this. Okay? So they have been putting, right? I believe they've actually been putting billboards out. Oh shit, dude, my fucking Instagram is not putting this up. I've seen more than one thing where I don't know if it's actually true, but they're kind of like people are rallying, trying to get the word out about this guy. All right? They are livid.
I want to introduce you to Jessie Butler really quickly, because Jessie here was facing 78 years in prison for repeatedly violently raping, physically assaulting, and strangling 2 girls he dated. He was facing 10 felony charges, and then an additional one was added on for breaking a protection order. Jessie here just got the most insane sweetheart plea deal. Instead of facing 78 years in prison, they make a deal that if he pleads no contest, they will charge him as a youthful offender. Mind you, he was 17 when this happened. He is 18 now. And as a youthful offender, Jessie will only face 1 year of rehabilitation and community service. 1 year, not a single day in jail. And the things that he did to these girls are unspeakable.
Dude, it's crazy. So here's what I found, guys. I knew I had this, okay? So they have a website, okay? They put up a website for Jessie Mack Butler, okay? Dude, yeah. No, they are pissed, guys, okay? They are livid. So they created a website that fucking talks about the judge, Susan Worthington, right? They're going to have billboards and ads all over Stillwater, right? They're planning a campaign, okay, about all over Payne County, right? This is a mock-up of the billboard, all right? They want to do a public campaign themselves to get the word out, to, make this guy's existence a living hell. You know what I mean? Dude, the thing, though, that bothers me, guys, I mean, obviously, there's endless amount of things that bother me about this, okay? Like the one major thing that bothers me is, this is why women choose the bear, okay? Because consistently, men grape and abuse, and they get away with it. They get the top job. Everybody forgets it. Everybody forgives them. Everybody pretends like it didn't happen. Women speak up about it, and they get assaulted, attacked. Why didn't you speak up sooner? You must have done something to deserve it. I mean, there's no justice for what women go through with sex crimes. And then you have these crazy religious zealots trying to get rid of abortion. So if there's a sex crime, they have to then deliver the baby. And what the fuck? So the victim serve a life sentence and he gets off literally. Yes, Carrie. Exactly. So that's obviously problem number one. Is just in general the rape culture, the grape culture in America, and complete disregard for women. Okay. Number two is the privilege aspect, that this guy, because his daddy is a big wig at the state football program, right? That he gets off, okay? That he gets the deal. He gets leniency. The rich white kids get leniency, whereas if it was a 15-year-old black kid, they'd be trying him as an adult and putting him away for life, okay? The bullshit white privilege in the judicial system. You know what I'm saying? And right, that's another problem that I have with this, obviously. But the third problem I have with this, guys, is the religious MAGA aspect. This is a MAGA family, okay? This is a kid that no doubt was in the Andrew Tate, Charlie Kirk pipeline, okay? These are Trump people. These are MAGA people through and through. Bible-toting MAGA people. Right? With the grapist kid and no regards for the victims, not even enough honor to, admit the crime and take the punishment and ask for leniency in sentencing. You know what I'm saying? It's literally, this is the misogynist patriarchal bullshit that gets fed to these guys from Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk and all these guys, where women are just MRS degree, second-rate, subservient beings to people. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, I'm looking at the timer. We got it. We're not going to fuck the timer up this time. Thank you, Shiloh. You know what I'm saying? This grape culture, patriarchal shit that's tied to religion and MAGA and, TPUSA and all these organizations and people like Andrew Tate is just it needs to be replaced with consent and compassion. And, this is why women, cling to their bodily autonomy with their fucking uterus and shit. Because they don't want to end up giving birth to Jessie Mack Butler's kid and then having to pay him spousal support if they make more money than him, right, after he grapes them. It's so gross, dude. It is so gnarly. Okay? He gets counseling for 1 year. 1 year of counseling, guys. Okay? And those were his charges, right? And there was an 11th charge that was added, which was like, you know, he was told to stay away from the victims, and he didn't obey that. Okay? He continued to fucking, you know, try to pressure the victims afterwards. There he is with his mom and his Iron Cross wearing, like, weird zealot, you know, crusader looking sister. Fucking degenerates. Look at him dressed like he's going to a fucking police convention or some shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that nuts? Dude, that shit is nuts, bro. Oh. Dude, I know, an Iron Cross belt buckle. Shit kickers, bro. Dude, just that whole, that image, man. That image is something else, dude. You're right, dude. Shit kicker, fucking jeans. And look at the way she's standing down here, dude. She's like, her Iron Cross. I mean, these people are like, just degenerates. Dude, he's definitely probably a groiper. I mean, dude, he's got the MAGA movement written all over him, boss. This guy front row center at the Charlie Kirk event, dude. Oops. There's my fucking thumbnail for the 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗧 video. Whoops, sorry, guys. Yeah, dude, look at her fucking belt buckle. Bro, Crusades, anyone? Dude, wearing his Oakleys inside. Bro. Shit is gnarly. Yeah, dude, but Worthy, he's not going to prison, boss. That's just it. No prison time. He got 150 hours of community service. He got 1 year of curfew and 1 year of counseling, right? But I guess there is a court date on December 8th. And that judge, let's see if that judge, when she was elected, let's see, Susan Worthington. So, see, the outrage is mounting. Judge Susan C. Worthington. They did a plea deal. I'm trying to find out. I don't know. I don't think she was elected, right? So she was sworn in 2015 as a special district judge. And her father was a judge. She got sworn in by her father. So she was appointed. She was appointed by, right? So she's not elected. She was appointed to this judge position. She wasn't appointed by her father. Her father was a big judge. Okay. Her father didn't appoint her, but I'm sure her father being a judge led to her being appointed. Okay, she was appointed from a district judge to this special role, and her father, who was her father, who was the district judge for 20 plus years, like swore her in, right? Yeah, dude, it's so gnarly, man. The shit is so gnarly, dude. It's just gross. But I bet there's going to be a recall. So it says calls for recall have been widespread. All right. And they had connection. She had some connection to OSU where his father was a bigwig. All right. Now, some people say she was fired. I don't know if that's accurate. But if she's not fired, dude, she's gonna get booted. Okay? Let me just tell you, because like what I always think of is the Brock Turner judge, 𝗙ecie. Okay? Aaron 𝗙ecie was the judge in Brock Turner. He was a Superior Court judge, and he let Brock Turner off, right? 6 months in jail, including time served. But then, so on June 2nd, he fucking sentenced Turner to 6 months in jail and 3 years of probation. And then in June of the fucking 2 years later, he was recalled, right? They immediately started a recall effort, right? And he got booted. You know what I'm saying? He got booted like the Brock Turner judge. Oh, dude, just done deal. All right. And this woman, it's going to be no different. Okay. This woman is absolutely going to get fucking, she's going to be done, bro. I don't see how there's a way she survives it. There's no fucking way, boss. There's no way. Right. Not in a remotely just world. All right, guys, dude, let's get it. We got 16 minutes. Let's lock down the fucking dance party so we can finish our night's fucking thing, dude. Oh, dude, isn't it gross? These are the real rogue judges. Yeah, no, I know that, like, the judges that do this shit. I mean, dude, I could have even understood if they, if whatever, they say he's a youthful offender and they give him like 20 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're not going to give him 78 years. We're going to give him 20 years in prison. So he gets out when he's 38. Maybe he gets out when he's in his early 30s if there's good behavior and he's got rehabilitation goals inside the jail. And then boom, okay? Then fine. You get a little bit of leniency being a young person. You get a chance to get out in your early 30s and start over again. And you get rehab in jail. Dude, let's finalize it. Let's go, Keeler. But no jail time? Dude, let's go. Thank you, Kaya. Dude, Pinky, Annie up, punks. Let's go. Dude, 9 more. We got this. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that shit is just crazy, right? Reality. And guys, you know what's funny? Is I'm going to make this connection again. If you've been watching me, you've heard me say this 100 times. But guys, I'm telling you right now, Trumpism, fascism, and grape culture are one and the same, guys, okay? And they're heavily tied to religion, but they are no consent, okay? No consent. I'm sending the National Guard into your city. We don't need it. We're fine. I don't care. I'm sending it in anyway. It's all about no consent. I'm going to take control of your woman's body and force you to deliver the baby. No consent. I'm not going to ask for your consent to use your uterus. It is like all one and the same, dude. Fascism and rape culture and Trumpism are all about governing with no consent, where the powerful get to decide all of the terms of the governing, And the people that are experiencing the governing, you have no consent. We're going to tell you what bathroom you can and can't use. We're going to tell you, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to force you to put the 10 commandments in your classroom. We're going to force you to obey the rules of the Bible, even though you don't fucking believe in this Bible. Sounds about white to you. Yeah, 𝗙cie_𝗠𝗆, you know it. And everything about them is everything about Trumpism and Christianity is about there being no consent. You must obey, right? And it is gross and it is obvious. And this is why, particularly here in Portland, why we have these things at the ICE raids or, you know, the ICE detention center where we are just not going to do that. Okay. We are just not going to submit. You know what I mean? We're not going to like do that shit. And yeah, you know what it is though, DM, is it's not even about MAGA men or Muslim men. It's just a religion thing. Okay. Whether you're looking at Christianity or Islam, it's the same shit. Okay. They both deal with a patriarchal system of a singular, all-powerful, you know, I mean, in Islam, they don't gender the all-powerful, but the prophets are men, and it is a male-dominated, male-centered culture, just like Christianity. Like all of these religions are like the male is the ruler, and the women's job is to submit and be inferior. She's a rib, or right? And so it is hard-baked into the religious doctrine in those Abrahamic religions. And I mean, nobody's immune from it. I mean, you know, it's like, I know like in Judaism, it's much less severe than the patriarchy is less severe and abrasive than it is in Christianity and Islam. But in Judaism, it's not any less toxic. I mean, if you look at Orthodox Jews, when the woman's ovulating, when she has her period, she has to sleep at the foot of the bed. Okay. She can't even share the bed with the man while she's like ovulating. I mean, it's just a different type of submission, and they have to cover their hair. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, but all of the Abrahamic religions participate in this, you know, patriarchal, male dominated fucking culture where the woman is a servant. She is a secondary fucking creature, you know? And dude, it's hard baked into it. And it's gross, man. And yeah, it's funny because when you like the crazy stalker woman, okay? Remember the crazy stalker woman from yesterday, right? And she was, you know what I'm saying? She was you know, the Taliban with minivans is what they call it, like these evangelical moms for liberty type Christians. And you know, they are not any different, right? The Christian Taliban and the fucking Islamic Taliban are like not any different. It's the same shit. Now I don't know a lot about how the family runs in a Muslim household. I only knew really one Muslim who was close to me, and he was not married. He was dating a girl. He was more like the American Muslim. He was not strict and devout, right? And so I'm not familiar, but I mean, dude, male domination in Christianity is really bad. It's, I mean, my experience of the Jewish, like, you know, religious subculture was that it was way less bad, right? The like what I was in a Jewish fraternity in college, and there was it, you know, I grew up in around evangelical Christianity, and the evangelical Christianity was much more severe in the male domination in it than I saw in the Jewish families I knew. Theirs was much more like subdued, but it was still there, right? Dude, no, I was a Sigma Alpha Mu. Right? I was a Sammy at UCLA, but it was still there. It was just different. It wasn't as forceful, but it was definitely still present. Now I've heard that it's pretty severe in deeply religious Islamic households, much like it is in evangelical Christians, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like evangelical Christianity and Islam are pretty similar, okay? They really are in their severity. Like my experience with Judaism, and from a religious standpoint, is they're deeply devout and shit, but they're much less aggressive with it because they're not out trying to convert everyone to Judaism. Okay, they're more like, no, this is our thing, and we're good with you guys not being involved at this at all. And they have their own internal sort of like keeping to themselves. Whereas like Christianity and Islam are both about converting and spreading and right. And so it's, you know, but all three of those Abrahamic religions are heavily patriarchal. And, you know, the Christianity and Islam, though, in particular, are real in your face. We need to convert you. You need to convert. We're the one and only. And I didn't get that from like in my immersion in the Jewish religious culture. They were more like, nah, this is our thing. And we're fine if it stays our thing. We don't need you at all over here, right? I mean, it's very different, right? Which is one of the things that I was like, wow, that's really different than like the Christianity I grew up with, right? Dude, you ready? All right, here we go. So 7 minutes. We need 6 more in 7 minutes, right? 6 more in 7 minutes. Dude, yeah, there's like 4,000 religions, all right? It's crazy. All right, 6 more, 7 minutes. We got this. We're gonna break now. We're gonna get the dance party locked down, and then we're gonna keep moving. And so to answer your question, though, if you were saying why is the Jewish religion a little different? So the Jewish religion, if you look at the Abrahamic religions, they're like siblings, okay? Where Judaism came first. And then Christianity was an offshoot of Judaism, and they shared the Old Testament. And then Islam was like 300 years later after Christianity was widespread. Islam is like the youngest one. But the thing about it is, hypermobile, let's go. We need 5 more. So what it is, though, is the thing about the Jewish religion is they believe that their religion was just confined to a small group of people, okay, that were like these original settlers, and they're descendants of those settlers, and they're not supposed to convert everyone. They're just like, according to them, they're like a group of God's chosen people from like the first family of the Abrahamic religions. So they're just concerned about staying within their own family and remaining honorable to the pact they made with God, okay? But they don't want to convert. They have no business converting. They're not trying to change anybody, right? Final push, let's go. And dude, proud liberal, let's go. So their religion is very different. Because theirs is just like, we're this group of people, we have a pact with God, and we're just staying in our fucking family and in this pact that we've made, the covenant, right, that they have with God. And then the thing that's really hard with Christianity is Christianity and Islam are both like, no, we're the one and only religion, and you must convert. And they use war. Like Islam and Christianity both used war to convert people. It wasn't just war to stay alive and protect their shit. It was war to provoke, to force. You must. All right, 4 minutes, guys. The countdown is here. So, man, I mean, you know, from a purely religious standpoint, guys, like my experience, like I said, I have limited experience with Islam, but I always found evangelical Christianity and what I know of Islam, that sort of like needing to convert and needing to get you on board and to take over and to conquer. I found those elements of the later Abrahamic religions to be a little offensive to me. And I just didn't like them. And like, so of the 3 Abrahamic religions, even though I don't believe in any of them, I always found the Jewish religion to be the most respectable, because it wasn't about fucking converting and attacking and forcing. It was more like, we just want our thing. Please leave us the fuck alone. And I respect that. You know, there's a lot of other religions that are like that aren't about conversion and aggression and, you know, going door to door and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just exclusion. I mean, it is exclusionary, you know, that's true, right? So there is that element. And like I said, though, there's the same patriarchal shit there. It's just a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I have been to a bar mitzvah. I have. And I've partied with a lot of different kind of Jewish people, dude. Like I said, I was in a fraternity, dude. I was one of 2 guys. There were 140 guys, and there were only 2 of us that were goys. So, like, I fucking was immersed, dude. In all right, we got 2 minutes, guys. 2 more. 2 and 2, baby. Dude, we got this. But I really thought their relationship to their religion was pretty cool. Man, it really was. It was like highly respectable, right? And that's separate from like, you know, going into like the state of Israel and Netanyahu and the IDF and all that bullshit, right? But the actual just looking at the Jewish religion and the way like Jewish people participate in their religion, it's really fucking cool. And like, I really respect how they operate their religion, even though I don't believe in that shit, you know? And I don't believe in any of them, but it's the least fucking aggressive and attacky and forceful. All right, 1:40, 2 more, 1 more. Katie Mullins coming in hot, baby. And here we go, baby, the last minute. Oh, shit. Oh yeah, you're 𝗙cie. You are indeed, right? And it is, though. It is like, dude, I mean, I've dated a lot of Jewish girls, and of course I was like, you know, you're not going to be around long, you know, because I wasn't converting, and right? You know what I'm saying? And they're like very, you know, if they're practicing at all, they're not having their daughter hang out with fucking with me, dude. Not a chance, dude. I mean, we would date, but they knew it was not. I was just temporary. Dude, Karmic Mayhem, oh, that's a sticker. That's good. We thank you, but we do need 1 more super chat. Oh, shit. Dude, yeah, but Worthy, dude, everybody in America gets circumcised too, boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't even do it for a religious reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, now a lot of people aren't circumcising their kids, but when I was a kid, we all did. Oh my God, 18 seconds. Here we go. 15, 14, down to the wire. Oh shit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We need 1 more. 3. There it is. Oh, they come through right at the wire. Let's go. Oh, closing it out. Oh shit, dude. Let's go, baby. There it is. Glad you weren't circumcised? Yeah. Dude, I think now, I think not being circumcised is the way to go, boss. That's the better way to go. V Sneed, let's go. Phillies, let's go. Thank you, Allie. All right, we did it, dude. Dude, we got our... Dude, we got our fucking dance party. You don't know what Phillies means? Oh, I mean, it could mean, I was thinking the baseball team, right? Philadelphia Phillies, which I don't love the Philadelphia Phillies, but I do love Philadelphia. I like the red of the Phillies. Their baseball red is amazing. Dude, the color of the red, although my son hates the Phillies. So I have to be careful with my relationship with the Phillies, right? I like Philadelphia, though, the city. I like driving there. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Philadelphia. I mean, it's a really cool city. A lot of really old, like turret rounded buildings, you know, with like corner turrets on the apartments and buildings and shit. And beautiful city, right? I would fucking play a lot at this club called The Fire in Philly. And the city, if driving like downtown, that shit is crazy. Okay? Like, it's really wild. I don't know if it's still like this, but when I spent a lot of time there 20 years ago, it's like you would drive around downtown and nobody even like paid attention to the lane markers. Like, people just, it was a fucking free for all, dude, of like cars like making right turns from the second lane and shit, and a lot of honking and just people squeezing in. Dude, it was so cool. It was like driving in a Mad Max movie or some shit. I was like, dude, this is insane, right? I don't know. I just found it entertaining, like driving around downtown Philly. Like, people there just don't give a fuck, dude. Right? Dude, they were crazy. It was so amazing. Dude, is it like that in Tokyo too? Dude, my girlfriend's from Colorado. She grew up in you know, she grew up right around the corner from Columbine, actually. She did. She grew up in the suburbs of Denver, and she went to high school, Cherry Creek, and fucking, you know, which is like right around the corner, you know, like Centennial, like right near where fucking Columbine was, like half mile away or some shit. You went to Creek? No way, dude. Let's go. Yeah, she went to Cherry Creek. Dude, she was like one of the, like, Cherry Creek is crazy. It is like, right? It's like super wealthy. She was not like one of the wealthy. I mean, her parents have money, but they were like, compared to the Cherry Creek people, they were on the lower income, right? They were on the lower income. They were like, you know, well-off parents, definitely upper middle class, but they got her in that killer school district. But like most of the Cherry Creek school district is like kids driving BMWs and shit to school, kind of wealthy. Porsches, like, right? Like driving their new Porsche to school, kind of wealthy. That's the kind of fucking high school it is. Dude, Raptor, you know, right? Dude, that shit is like fucking craziness, right? Yeah, no joke. It's true, dude. So much money. Dude, that's insane. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. All right, dude, we made the dance party. Now we can finish up. Your first car was a 93 Ford Festiva. Dude, my first car was a 75 Volkswagen Scirocco. Dark gray with a leather sports bra on the front of it. And it had headers, so it sounded like a race car. It was pretty cool. Dude, the fucking 75 Volkswagen Scirocco was like, here, I'll show you, dude. Here's what my car was. Dude, it was like basically like this. I mean, it was like this, but I'd want to find a color picture, right? That's what the Scirocco looked like, but mine was like a really cool dark gray. Kind of like that, but darker gray. And then it had a leather bra on the front. Dude, it was pretty amazing, boss. It was a fucking good car. I mean, it didn't run very well, right? But it was pretty badass. Dude, I paid $700 for it, right? And I remember too, what happened was I paid $700 for it, and right after I got it, like the fucking day I bought it, it was a stick shift. Like a day later, my starter died, and fucking, or alternator. No, the alternator was fine, but my starter went out, and so I had to like jump start it for 2 weeks until I got paid. Right? I just had to jump start it. It had no starter, and then after I got paid, I got a starter put into it. But there it was, dude. It was pretty fucking badass. It had a lot of problems though. It didn't run very well. Had a lot of mechanical issues, electrical issues. I put a stereo in it and it fucking, you know, the electrical, like after I put a car stereo in it, the electrical was never the same. Like I kept having electricity issues. Like my headlights would go off, or what ended up happening is for a while, there were all kinds of shorts in the electrical system. Like I would turn on my signal and my horn would go off, and it would just, no way I could turn the horn off. And then the horn would go off and I'd maybe turn the signal on a different direction and the horn would go off. So sometimes I'd be turning into a left turn lane. I'd turn the signal and the horn would go off and the people in the cars would be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'd be like, guys, it's an electrical issue. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting behind a row of cars with the horn just blaring the whole time. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do, right? I'm like, see, my hands are up. I'm sorry, but I'm driving down the street with the horn just blaring. It was fucked up, dude. Just all kinds of shit. I'd turn on my fucking stereo or whatever at night and smoke would pour out of the dashboard. It was so fucked up. And so eventually, and then it costs like thousands of dollars to pass a smog test because it had headers on it. There was no catalytic converter. And the guy who sold it to me left the state. So it was a money pit that I had for a couple of years. And then I had to get rid of it, dude. It was just too brutal, dude. My parents were like, fuck you. You need to get rid of this shit. Right? It was so bad, dude. Oh, dude. But it was great when it was running. It was such a great car. Oh my God. It was so sporty and amazing. But then I had a scooter until I crashed that. And then I rode motorcycles for a long time. I had a Honda NX250, right? This was my motorcycle for a long time. This guy right here, right? This was my ride through most of my 20s. I rode that in LA, which was great. Cheap insurance, cheap gas, $5 worth of gas will last you for like 3 weeks, right? And you can split lanes. So you never got stuck in traffic and shit. But that was my main vehicle in my 20s was is sharp, sexy, wasn't it? Dude, it was great, dude. Oh man, no traffic, easy to park. Like that shit was incredible. And until I crashed it. Eventually I crashed it and I got, not too fucked up, but then I totaled it and got an accident settlement. And then I had a Camaro. I had a 73 Camaro, a brown Camaro with red interior. But dude, this was amazing, bro. My NX250 was so badass. Dude, it was so good. It was such a great, it is a death trap. Every time I rode it, I was taking my life into my own hands. But it was so good on gas and so cheap. My insurance was like $150 for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? My insurance was so cheap, dude. It was like $30 a month, $25 a month. It was so amazing. And then I had a 74? That I wonder if I can find one that had the red interior like this. This is it. Oh shit. Dude, that was my fucking interior, boss. Was the red, bro. But the Camaro was brown. But this was my fucking Camaro, dude. It was badass. But it was like this color, right? I had one that was just like this, dude. This was my car for just like this, right? But it had the red interior. Oh, dude. This shit was amazing in LA, yeah. Dude, it was incredible. The gas mileage sucked and it broke down a lot, but it was for a rock and roll, dude. It was I had a lot of female suitors around that time, dude. It was amazing. Yeah, no, it was great. With the red interior, it was so sharp. Oh man, it was so good, dude. I loved it. Dude, yeah, you did send me down memory lane, dude. my Camaro was amazing, right? It was fucking amazing. Good shit, boss. Dude, what a fucking, that was some adventure, bro. Dude. All right. Memory lane, baby. It's good shit. Dude, you know what's funny is my son, like, we got him a Mazda, like a little, you know, Mazda 2, good on gas mileage or whatever. But like, dude, I want to help my kid fucking get one of these cars, right? Because he likes the old cars, the classic ones. And I know that they're kind of beasts and shit, but I want him to have the experience of being able to drive one of these, right? Like have an old car of his choice, get him one that is fucking nice. He likes this old shit, but this is exactly what mine looked like. But mine was brown with the red interior. It was amazing. It had no spoiler on the back, right? What are all the emotes? There's a Trump Joker. There's a dumpster fire, me tweeting, Joe Biden, me, and then the Antifa frog. But yeah, man, dude, 74 Camaro, dude, was badass. So good, right? It was so good, dude. It was like this color though. This is basically what mine looked like, but with the bright red interior. Dude. Fucking amazing, boss. Oh shit. Dude. It was so nice. I mean, dude, yeah, it was pretty cool, dude. And so there was like the one problem with it was it used to break down a lot, but I had this mechanic though in LA, like thinking back, I don't even know if the car was breaking down or the mechanic just kept me coming there, but it seemed like it would break down like every 2 months. And then I would take it to this mechanic in Hollywood where he would come and pick it up with his tow truck. And then he would like have it ready the next day. And it would always cost me about $200, right? And so then I would fucking, right? I would just get it to him. Can't remember his name, dude. But he may have been huckstering us. And I don't know, but whatever, dude. I didn't care. I know I was waiting tables. I had plenty of cash. And so $200 to get the car fixed was like no problem. My insurance was super cheap. I was fucking living large, dude. Dude, I was a head server at Jerry's. So I had like, I was making a lot of money. I mean, you know, it was like the mid 90s and I was probably making, you know, close to $200 a day in tips, you know, like at least 150 in tips, right? Every day, cash, plus my hourly. So I was making, like easily, like, you know, a couple grand a month, right? You know, almost $4,000 a month. And, you know, I did my own schedule because I was a head server. I like managed the server floor. So I was always in a good section. So I got out early and shit. And I would occasionally like pick up things like when people, if they needed shifts covered, I would just pick up their shifts. So I could always fucking turn out extra money and then, you know, put myself in a good section and fucking, you know, so had a lot of money. My rent was like $550 a month or some shit. So I was living large, dude. Dude, your neighbor had a Galaxy 500. My parents had a Galaxy 500 when I was a kid. Dude, I miss that shit though. Although it looked way better with the red interior, boss. This black interior is fucking ugly, dude. Dude, that red interior was the shit, boss. Dude, this amazing. Oh man, dude. Dude, I loved it so much, dude. The red, that shit was the bomb, dude. The red interior, like it just fit my personality. You know what I'm saying? Like that fucking, this fucking red interior, the red dash, that shit fit my personality, dude. It was very me, boss. Yeah, there was only one downside, guys. You know what I'm saying? There was only one fucking downside to having that car. And it was a pretty big one. But the one downside to having the Camaro, guys, was the cops. Okay? I got pulled over like a lot, dude. Anytime, you know, if I had my hair dyed or I was wearing a funky like rock and roll hat, I mean, I got pulled over by the cops like all the fucking time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time, dude. So I had to be very careful to like no drugs in the car, no open containers, no fucking, right? There could be nothing illegal in there. Do not fucking really drink and drive. You got to be super careful with that shit because the cops would see me driving by and I would be getting pulled over and getting searched. And I mean, dude, what I did was I got a non-owner's insurance policy by registering it to my mom's house. And so they would pull me over and I would be like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. Like if my mom was driving this car right now, you would not be pulling her over. Like, I know you're fucking profiling me, dude. And they're just like, we don't care. Dude, the LAPD, they don't give a fuck, bro. Or like Beverly Hills PD. It was just a constant pullover. Right? They were always looking for shit, dude. It was brutal. Dude, yeah. That was the one downside. But you get used to it after a while. It reinforced my disdain for police officers. Right? It did. It did. Shout out Derek Carr. Oh, shit. Dude, Bryce. I don't know if you saw this, but I was just talking about my 74 fucking Camaro. And I was just talking about how the car I drove was like this and how I would like to help you get one of these old classic cars, dude. Because I know you want one of these, right? One of these old style cars like this or an El Camino. I still want to fucking make that happen for you at some point, dude. Right? Dude, let's go. I think you would love a car like this. Wouldn't you, Bryce? Dude, Bryce would love this shit, dude. He would fucking dig it. But mine had the red interior. Yeah, that's Bryce. He's 20. He lives in New York City now. Shout out Derek Carr. Dude, Derek Carr's been doing... Dude, there's what it looked like. Derek Carr's been doing interviews. Dude, that red interior, this shit is the bomb, dude. The hat's a looker. I mean, a Giants one of what? Of what? Of one of these? These hats? Dude, this hat is good, Bryce. This hat is amazing. Team was shot out of there. A-team was shot out there on the freeway. A-team was shot where? In California? Dude, this Jessie Mac Butler guy, what a fucking scoundrel, bro. Grandma had a red Mustang convertible? No way, dude. That shit's amazing. Dude, you know what my parents had? You know what I drove in high school, dude, that I hated? Was a 1976 Mercury Bobcat. Green. Was like this car, dude, right here. This was the car I fucking drove in high school. Dude, I fucking hated it so bad. That, oh, dude, it was so terrible. It was a green Mercury Bobcat that was like a Pinto. It was basically this car, dude. This is what I had to drive in high school. It was so embarrassing. Oh my God, dude. It was green. It was like a Pinto. And then my dad, the license plate said 𝗦𝗂𝗽𝗍𝗍, MYELFIE, right? It said 𝗦𝗂𝗍𝗍. And then everyone would be like, what does 𝗦𝗂𝗍𝗍 mean? My dad got a license plate. This is how fucked up my dad was. Okay, he had a nickname for his penis that he called My Elephant, and so he put My Elfie as the fucking license plate on the car that I had to drive to school, so everybody would ask me what My Elfie meant, and I like made the mistake of like telling one friend, so everybody would be like, it's his dad's penis, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, kill me fucking now, bro. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? This is the environment I grew up in. So if you wonder why I walk through life without a care in the world, it's because I grew up in a fucking redonkulous way being raised by assholes, okay? So where I had to survive the fucking chaos of my fucking parents. So I grew up just like having no shame, right? You know? Dude, isn't it funny? Oh, fuck, bro. I dreaded it, dude. I dreaded it so bad. Dude. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. But, dude, we survived, though, boss. Right? Let's fucking go, baby. And I was slightly less of a douche. I was not an only child. I was the youngest of 7, but they were all half brothers and sisters. So for me, it was me and 6 half siblings until 2nd grade. And then it was just me and an older sister sharing a room, right? We shared a room for most of our upbringing up until, God, we shared a room up until, shit. We shared a room like all the way through her being in high school for the most part, right? Which was me. I was like 12 sharing a room with a 17-year-old sister. Dude, it was super problematic on just countless fucking reasons, boss. Like that having a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old girl sharing a room was not fucking, is not good. And then occasionally we would have other like half brothers that would show up and fucking well, I mean, I did have a lot of early exposure to women, right? They're like, I guess, you know, I had a lot of early exposure to like older teenage girls and shit. And then in middle school, I was advanced in science and math. So half of my day, like I went to the middle school until lunch, and then I rode my bike to the high school. And then I finished the second half of my school days at the high school. So I was always surrounded by like older women. So I feel like I got conditioned to be less like intimidated, I think. Even though I was nerdy and shy, when I eventually got out of my shyness like senior year, I found that I had actually communicated so much with women, like older women. I had a real, I don't know, once I got over my shyness, I was like, holy shit, I really connect to women insanely, right? It really did, because I had grown up around like women so much, you know? I was always surrounded by women because my sister was super popular, so she had a lot of girlfriends, and I didn't have a lot of friends. You know what I mean? I'm not shy. I'm not shy now, but I was shy. I was shy until my senior year. And it was actually, I had a friend named Dean. I'll tell you this story real quick. But so I had a friend named Dean where during my senior year, I like switched friend groups because I had this bad thing happen in my old friend group. I got drunk and I OD'd and I had to get sort of resuscitated at the hospital. And it was this big crazy thing. And so I changed my friend groups to a new group of friends to run away from that like alcohol OD. And my new friend group, there was a guy named Dean who became my good friend, and we would go and hang out, and all of a sudden it was different. There were like some male cheerleaders in this group, and there were a little more popular people. Like my old friend group had been the swimmers and the nerds, and now I was in a new group that had some cheerleaders and shit like that. And what happened was I would go out all the time, we'd be in a group setting, and some shit would go on, and I would say something to my friend Dean, and Dean would say what I said to him to the group, and everybody would start laughing. And I was like, whoa, that's really weird. So I started realizing that I was actually really funny, and I just wouldn't say it because I was afraid of how I was going to be reacting. But Dean would use my material and get all these laughs. And so eventually what I did was I got rid of my glasses, I got some contact lenses, and then I just stopped saying the shit to Dean and started saying it to the group. And I slowly discovered that I was actually pretty funny, and people loved hanging out with me. But it took a little while to figure it out, because I was just in a really sort of abusive authoritarian home. And so like I was really free at home, but I got really nervous and untrusting around people, But yeah, my friend Dean really helped me break out of that, right? By him stealing my material. Let's go. How we learn confidence. Sometimes you just got to figure it out, right? You have to sort of get out there, and then, obviously getting out on my own and, joining a fraternity and like starting a band and just doing all this crazy shit and falling down a lot. Like I failed a lot. I feel like failure is really like my secret weapon in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like all the things I tried that didn't really work out, and all the situations I got myself into where I fucked shit up, and then I had to figure out how to make things work again afterwards. You build, that's where you really fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, succeeding is great and it feels good, and failure feels like shit. But failing is really where you fucking get the good stuff from, I think. Right? Because eventually you don't even look at failure as like a bad thing anymore. It just becomes another state of being, You know what I mean? Classic and wholesome. It was. That was good. That was good. Let's go, dude. Dude, what's up with the idiot's health? Dude, did you see Trump? Dude, let's just do a little on Trump before we go. Look at this photo, dude. What the fuck is this, bro? Like, look at this shit. This was him today at the golf club. Dude, he just looks like shit, bro. Right? Dude, clots and prayers. He looks horrible. Now, guys, I want to go back here for a second, okay? Because remember the Mom Donnie shit? Okay? You know this. You remember Trump and Mom Donnie? Like when he wore the turtleneck and everybody was lambasting him back in this, right? Remember this? Oh, Trump with his turtleneck sort of thing. And we were all making fun of him dressing like Mom Donnie and all that, whatever. Everyone's like, oh, he looks good. But like, we never really talked about this, guys. But look at this setup. He's not actually wearing a turtleneck. Okay? He's wearing like neck robes over him. I think he has been having some kind of medical procedure here, guys. Okay? I think he had some type of I think this was medical related. Like them covering up some shit. I don't know if he had a tube in him or something, but that change of jacket and that sort of neck roby thing, I think he's this was a health thing, guys. He's got some deep medical issues. His poll numbers are so bad, even his face is losing to the left. Dude, no shit. You know what I mean? I mean, he's having some significant issues. Now, guys, let's look at his recent presser. Okay? I want to show you the recent presser. Okay, the one where he said, "Are you stupid?" Right? I want to show you this, guys. Okay, let's just look at this. When we go to this video from this press conference, let me find the whole fucking thing. Dude, look at this. All right, let's find the full shooting one. I want to show you something because I looked at this the other day, guys. And Yeah, dude, they never hold Trump accountable at all. Okay? They don't. Not at all, guys. All right, here, watch this though. Now we notice, guys, okay? One of the things we have noticed is how he's always seated, okay? He's always seated in his Oval Office. Everyone's standing around, he's always seated, okay? He had to do a virtual, like, appearance for Tennessee, for Matt Van Epstein, right? The fucking pedo protector who's running against Afton Bin, right? Him and Mike Johnson did a teleconference, like a whatever fucking, they did a rally because he can't travel and he's always seated. But watch his hands, guys. He is very sort of emaciated and shit, but watch his hands. Like when we get in here, we're going to get in close. Notice how he's keeping his hands down, guys. You notice that? He's talking less with his hands. Look at it. He's got the crazy caked makeup, but look at how swollen his fucking wrist is. Look at that shit, bro. Right? He's keeping them hidden, okay? If you look at his hands, he mostly keeps them hidden, but when you fucking see his fucking arms, especially his right one, dude, they look so shitty. Watch. Eventually, he puts them on the table, and you can see them. But the swelling, the edema in his hands is gnarly. But he is absolutely fucking mostly keeping shit hidden, right? Even the way he's holding his hands, he's keeping his hands down very... He's operating very specifically in order to keep the nature of his condition fucking, like hidden. Now watch, there is a section where he gets a little frustrated and he puts his hands out on the table. Oh yeah, here it is. All right. I'm just going to turn the music off. But, like, look at that. Look at how swollen his fucking hand is here, guys. Right? And of course, he covers it up with this hand. But he is not well, guys. He looks very gnarly. But he has been very specific about, like, the way he's hiding his hands. And there's another one. Where you can kind of see it, but his fucking hands are very swollen. Look at that. Dude, there's like no turn-in whatsoever. There's no like wrist end. It is very, the edema is crazy. And it's super swollen on the bottom too. That's on the outside over here. You know what I'm saying? That is like super swollen and then completely flat to the top, dude. A hand normally does not look like that, right? And then he's always covering up where he's got the makeup. And he's constantly covering it up. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting about this, guys, is how deliberate he's being. Right? When you see him, he's very deliberately covering his body and very deliberately, like, preventing us from knowing this shit. He's very deliberately keeping his hands either covered like that in a very distinct, non-moving position, or he keeps his hands down below the table. He only brought them up. This is a 45-minute press conference. And he only brought up his hands 3 times in 45 minutes. The entire rest of the time it's down there. And even when he's on the table, he had it so his wrists were down. So he's being very careful to like not show his fucking, not show his fucking hands. And so something is, if you look at it, it's ragged right there. Dude. Just ragged. And of course, he looks like hell, bro. And the dementia, though, my God, dude, I've not seen anyone as brain dead. Okay, I've not seen anyone as brain dead. Do I ever sleep? I mean, Crystal, that's a loaded question because I do sleep, right? But I sleep a very fucked up schedule. Like today, I went to bed at like 11:30 a.m. and I got up at 5. So I sleep, but I don't sleep enough. And I sleep at really fucked up hours. I stay up late and then I edit all night and then I go to bed in the morning or sometimes in the afternoon and I don't get enough sleep. So I sleep, but I'm kind of killing myself right now. Right? But I'm doing it for like, I'm building something. So I'm like, you know, I'm just riding the wave while I build it. You love the music? Thank you. Thank you. Well, no, those rock stars though, Shiloh, those rock stars are from 4 days. Okay. I only drink 1 rock star a day, guys. Just so you know, like if you look, there's 4 cans over here, but that's just because I haven't taken them to the kitchen. I only drink 1 a day, right? I only drink 1 a day. And then I drink some coffee during the day. Caffeine is taking years off my life. Yeah, I disagree, Raptor, right? My mom drank a pot of coffee every day right up until she died in her late 80s. You know, my dad did the same in his 90s, right? I mean, dude, I try to moderate it. I mean, I'll drink a lot of coffee, but I just drink 1 rock star a day because I do like the rock star, but I can't drink multiples of them or I'd never get any sleep. I used to drink a little bit more when I was gaming, but yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that caffeine maybe won't have an effect on me, but it's better than cocaine, right? So you know what I'm saying? Dude, let's go. Oh shit. Coffee is a scam. You don't need it. No, but I like it. I like it. You know? Let's go, baby. All natural? No. See, I don't like all natural. Dude, I like the sugar and I like the L-carnitine, right? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, the coffee, or for me, the Rockstar is about the amino acids and the taurine, right? That's what's great about these energy drinks is they have taurine, which is a blood thinner. And so that sugar and that fucking those amino acids and all that vitamin B shit gets into your blood with that blood thinner. And it's like doing a little bit of cocaine, but it's not as harmful, right? Dude, everything in my life comes down to me liking cocaine, right? Let's go. But yeah, dude, Trump is being very deliberate, guys. Dude, look at him, though. He is so shitty, right? He is so fucking, he is so, dead to the world, boss. Right? Dude, I loved cocaine. I did, boss. That was my jam. All right? Don't do it. I highly recommend don't get involved with that shit, right? But, dude, that was my jam, boss. Cocaine and Jägermeister. Oh, let's go. Jaeger on the rocks. And fucking cocaine, dude. And lady friends. That was my existence. All right, dude, gross. Let's go. Oh shit. Dude, I don't do it anymore though. I'm 18 and a half years sober. Right, dude, he's thinking of Bubba. He could be thinking of Bubba. Right? Dude, he could be thinking of Bubba. Dude, he just looks like shit, bro. Right? He just looks like shit. And he's always wearing his stupid hats. You know what I mean? He's always wearing his stupid fucking hats. He's so slovenly, dude. I mean, if you look at him, bro, he just doesn't look good. Dude, I'm telling you, dude, he is not looking good. Okay? He is not looking good, man. You know, I mean, we saw the images of when he was stroked out.
A patriot.
And we saw that fake, AI fucking video or whatever. But, bro, he is I mean, here's some footage of him, like, golfing. Like, look at this shit. This is recent, okay? Like, you see the legs, the bowing legs? I mean, there are just signs here.
Let's take a look at the way a person with dementia and or a history of stroke gets out of this golf cart.
I mean, you see his legs? It's the legs right there, dude. The legs, there's like a, it's like these small, you know, like loss of motor control, right? Because if I don't know if you guys are familiar with people when they have these little strokes and they come in waves, right? And you'll get hit, and then you'll get a certain amount of palsy, and you'll lose some mobility and shit, and then they'll keep them hidden for a couple of days while that heals. And we've seen the sag and the extra, sort of like the after effects of these strokes. But it's this movement here, guys, that shows you that he has lost motor function, and he still is sort of, grappling with getting his motor function back.
I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14.
Right, because that's the thing, guys. When you have these miniature strokes, or you have these sort of repetitive strokes, what'll happen is you get these little ones, you may get multiple strokes at once, and there can be sort of a catatonia and a little bit of Bell's palsy going on, or you lose motor functions, but then you like start getting it back. It's like a wave of like stroke and recovery. But then there's like lingering signs of like balance or loss of motor function with the bowing of the legs and some of the, the dragging of a foot or the rubber leg kind of thing. When the leg gets, moved a certain way, it gets floppy. And that shit is just some telltale signs of like, the recovery is like, it's like a fake recovery. It's like a partial recovery where you sort of get the motor function back, or the shit will lift up a little bit, but they get additive. Like what I've seen, I think, with people with strokes, where what's going to happen is eventually it's going to hit and all the shit is just going to go, right? It's like real additive where it seems like you're getting it back. It seems like you get your fucking zeal back or your movement back. And then one day it hits you and the whole shit, the dam breaks, and you're just like down for the fucking count, And I'm sure he's doing some other shit too, right? I'm sure he's, using some Adderall or other uppers.
Experience treating geriatric patients in home health care, just like the President of the United States. You notice how that right leg just flops toward the ground? It's because there's weakness in the hamstring in his right leg as a result of a stroke on the left side of his brain, which would cause weakness on the contralateral side of his body and also affect his language capability. Next thing you see happen is a very abbreviated step with the left leg. The reason that step is so short is because he does not trust his right leg to hold up his body weight effectively. One of the things we analyze as physical therapists regarding gait of a patient is step length. When steps are shortened in length, it's because the contralateral side is being favored. When a patient does not have confidence that one of their legs will hold them up, they will take a shorter step with the contralateral side to shorten what is known as the stance phase.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, I think that happens just instinctually, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like having a limp and not putting any pressure on the fucking, the twisted ankle.
In normal gait, when you're walking, stance phase is when one of your legs fully supports your body weight just for a moment. But if there is any pathology with that limb, it can shorten the stance phase. It can affect the posture of the rest of your body through the stance phase, and it will give the appearance of somebody limping. This is most likely due to the fact that he's probably had a stroke or a series of TIAs, but it could also be due to general neuromotor decline as a result of frontotemporal dementia.
I mean, he's definitely, if you listen to this motherfucker talk, you know that there's some dementia going on. Like, my God,
his father passed away from dementia. They actually let Fred Trump come into the office for several years before he actually passed away. He had no idea where he was or what was going on, but it was a familiar setting to keep him from becoming combative. This is why he is surrounded by assholes that feed him lies about his approval rating, about the jobs numbers that they're not even going to release, and the price of typical items that you and I buy every day. They're literally lying to him to keep him from becoming agitated. Based on all the symptoms that he displays, which include possible heart failure, kidney disease, I'd say he's got 3 to 5 months left in the land of the living. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah, dude, again, there's no way this guy makes it to 2028. There's just no way, dude. There's no way. Like, his fucking dementia is so whacked out. And I mean, look at him here, dude. Look at him fucking going down these stairs. Dude, what's crazy about this is Melania. You may have noticed recently she's like holding his hand. She never holds his hand, guys. She's literally holding his hand to help him walk down these fucking stairs. Okay? She can't stand his ass. She literally fucking hates him. I mean, why wouldn't she? He cheated on her all through her pregnancy and beyond. He's right. She's literally like holding his hand and doing this extra shit just to fucking hold him up. I mean, she doesn't care. She's like, as soon as he's gone, she's got fucking billions to play with. You know what I'm saying? But this whole thing is like she's helping him just fucking stay up, right? There's another guy right behind him, making sure he doesn't fall back. Dude, he is fucking just decimated. Dude, she's like, smell ya. Dude, homie is cooked, bro. Oh, yeah, there's a good one. This is a good example of looking at the gate. Watch his steps, okay? Watch his steps here, guys, where he fucking, when he steps on this right foot, it's like 1 second of right foot the whole time. Watch him. See? And then he's always right back to the left. He never like spends a lot of time on that right foot. Oh, there he did. But he's like, dude, that right foot, his gait is like weird, right? When he puts his weight on that, it's almost like he's just fucking like pivoting. Yeah, he's got there's something up. And of course we saw that, which was very clear that, you know, with his fucking face, like, dude, so sagged out. But this was one of these instances. This was the 9/11 event. Okay, this was one of these instances where we wouldn't have seen him if this had been any other event. He wouldn't have gone. All right, normally when he's got the sag, the droop, they don't let him out. But he couldn't not go. He literally had to go to the 9/11 event. He had to, right? There's no fucking way he could avoid that, right? But yeah, man, dude, he is fucking fucked up, boss. Hey, look at that. An old fucking video. Dude, crazy. Just zonked, bro. Dude, that pigeon-toed shit is a fucking dead sign, guys. Dude, yeah, you like that? Little Billy Squire? All right. Dude, it's time, though, baby. It's time for that dance party, boss. Dude, you never caught alive? Hey, Bruce, welcome. Dude, yeah, no, we're here. I know I'm a night guy. I know somebody was asking earlier, somebody was asking about my sleep, but can I just tell you guys, that like I have spent most of my life as a night person. I mean, I wasn't in high school and shit, except on the weekends because I was a swimmer. And so my athletic schedule, like I got tired and went to bed early and got up at like 5 a.m. because I had morning workouts and shit. So, but during the summer and on the weekends, I was a night person. Then I went to college and I was a night person. And then when I went into the working world and eventually fucking, I was working in restaurants at night, and then I worked at Jerry's Deli, graveyards. So I went to bed as a waiter, I went to work as a waiter. My shift started at 11 p.m., right? And so I would work from 11 p.m. to like 4 a.m. and then I would go surfing, right? I would get done with work at 4, get out of there by like 4:30. I would grab my surfboard. I would fucking go hit the glass in the fucking morning, right? 5:15, I would surf for a couple of hours, grab a plate of shrimp, and then I would go fucking drink some beers and go to sleep. And so, and then I became a bartender when I came up here. And occasionally I had a job as like a breakfast server. But like I tell you, most of my life, I was working nights. And then I ran a recording studio for a while, and I worked nights. I would record bands till like 5 in the morning. Bruce, let's go, baby. Let's go. So yeah, man, I've been a night guy, right? I've been a night dude. So mostly. And I've heard something. They say, guys, that I've heard, I don't know if there's truth to it, but they say that people with a lot of with really intense ADHD, that they prefer the nights. And like, I think it definitely has to do with my ADHD, and it's quieter and more chill and, everything. But I think a lot of it has to do with the energy of the other human beings, because I am like super connected to the energy around me. Right? So like when I go to a stadium full of people, or I'm on stage in front of people, I feel people's energy. I like take it in. I like have tentacles that grab all that energy. And so at night is just less hectic. You know what I'm saying? Like during the day, there's energy everywhere, right? Of people, and they're on the go and this, that, and everyone's doing shit, and they're rushing between jobs and shit. And at night, dude, when everyone's asleep, I'm like, dude, and we kind of live on a fucking busy street because, we didn't have a lot of money. We were able to get a nice house by getting it in an urban area on a busy street. So we got the kick-ass house, but we have a very busy street on the side of our house. Could I be autistic? I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I imagine, like, I feel like most people have some trace of autism, right? I think autism, I don't think it's even a condition. I think it's like a normal, like, part of humanity that everybody like has a trace of it, right? And then some people have it like full blown. But I just have always thought autism was much like any other sort of, configuration of the brain, where it's just, I mean, all of our brains have, they have nuances, and you know what I'm saying? And like everybody, you know what I mean? I think like there's, that's why when Trump is like, oh, or RFK, what's causing this? It's like, dude, I think it's always been, dude, you know what I mean? It's like, you're on the spectrum, neurodivergent. I mean, I could be. I've never gotten diagnosed, and I don't care to be, right? I have a mania that I love, and there's nothing else that I find inhibiting, right? But I do know that I have some lack of social filters and shit like that. But I don't know if that's autism or choice, right? Because I have grown up in a pretty wild household. So, right? But for me, the one thing I do have is I have a distinct mania, okay? Like a very churning, like more energy than anyone on the planet kind of mania that endlessly goes and can go without sleep or without food or without water. It is just a crazy high. And when I'm manic, everybody around me can feed on that high. It is like a high mania that is also the thing that fuels all of my creativity and my crazy behavior. The one thing, though, that I'm lucky with is I don't crash, right? Like a lot of people I know who have mania have a crashing depression, and I don't. I mean, I get depressed and I do crash like every couple months. I'll have a day where I am just sad as fuck and there is no making it better, and I get real negative and shit. But I'm lucky that I don't have the crash. I don't get a lot of depression, you know? And my mania, though, is like, I know how to affect it, right? Like I starve it or feed it with caffeine, or, right? I like toy with it to sort of ramp it up and get it going, or to like slow it down and pull it back. But I did for a while take some medication, and it took the mania away, but then I didn't like the way life felt without my mania. It felt really bland and not exciting, right? My mania brings that edge, brings my excitement. Now, sometimes it's fucked up because sometimes my wheels spin and it's really hard for me. Like sometimes I'll be editing at night and I get way into Twitter and I get all ADD and I can't get any shit done, and it'll take me 10 hours to do 5 hours of work. And so sometimes there's a downside of that. But what I've learned to do is I've learned to sort of accept that sometimes I have those wheel spinning days, and I just don't judge myself for it, right? I just accept that, sometimes I have a wheel spinning day, and, you know, I'll go off and do some high dopamine, you know, activities, like, and just sort of like, you know, I'll just participate in the wheel spinning and let it fucking, you know, spiral out and make sure I get my work done, right? Even if I have to work 14 hours to get that 5 hours of work done, I'll do it. But I've taken away the judgment, right? That's the biggest thing. And that's what the meditation, Vipassana meditation, gave me, where they teach you in Vipassana that there's no thought that is dangerous. There's no fucking, you know, none of your thoughts or feelings are dangerous. The only thing dangerous is your self-judgment of your thoughts and feelings. And so when you fucking turn away, when you get rid of that judgment, you find that your relationship to some of that shit changes, right? When you get rid of the judgment, when you just learn to accept and love those parts of you instead of looking at them as like problematic, right? Yeah. You know, like if I someday and my wheels are spinning and I can't get any work done, it takes me 14 hours. That's just one of those 14-hour wheel spinning days that, like, all right, I relish in that. Those are part of the deal, right? And just to answer your question, we can't do dance parties to copywritten music, boss. That they copy strike you on YouTube. YouTube's pretty strict about the copywritten music, right? But yeah, man. Yeah, so for me though, guys, my relationship with cocaine was different. So the meditation I did, guys, is Vipassana, right? Which is you go to Dhamma.org. There's the website. Here, I'll take you there. It's amazing, dude. Right? You go to Dhamma.org. Oh, wait, hold on. I might be spelling it wrong. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's this. I was spelling it wrong. So Dhamma.org. Here, I'll put the fucking link in here. So let me just tell you a little bit about this before I go. All right. This is the meditation that Buddha did. Okay. It's called Vipassana. All right. And it is very specific. Okay. It is a very specific, it's called insight meditation. And the basic premise of this meditation is about the two forces we experience in life, where you're either attracted or repulsed, either craving or repulsion. Okay. And so this meditation is about getting in tune with your body and noticing the sensations on your body where you can experience what that you can see the craving and repulsion. And so the idea behind this is that we just have sensations. So why does somebody like red cars? Because when they see a red car, they get those craving sensations. That's why you like red cars. Not because of your personality. It's because of your fucking, the energy, how it responds to you. Now, it's really interesting. So this meditation is taught, and it is taught at facilities. And let me just tell you, you go here and there are courses. There's a worldwide directory. Okay. The courses are 10 days. All right. You ready? So in order to learn Vipassana, you have to go away for 10 days and you go to a course. They're around the world, right? You go, they have beautiful temples built on property. You go for 10 days. There is no eye contact. You look at the ground, no talking, no silence, and no eye contact for 10 days. No phones, no interaction with the outside world. There are workers there that cook you home-cooked vegetarian meals or vegan meals. You meditate for 14 hours a day in silence. No, there's no masturbating, no nothing, right? You go there, you bunk. They're beautiful. You bunk, you shower, you walk, and you meditate, and you eat, and that's it. Okay? And you meditate 14 hours a day with walking breaks, and they are free. It is free. Zero charge. At the end of the 10 days, you make a donation. $5, $5,000. I'm telling you, it's fucking life-changing, all right? Now, there's a couple things. Every night, there you go into a hall and there's a video where the person who is the teacher of this speaks to you. And it's really crazy because you'll have a day of meditation and then you go and watch a video and the guy describes to you what you felt all day because it's a very specific 10-day process of like teaching you this technique. And let me just tell you, by day 7, you fucking go batshit. And so here, the meditation center here is not in Portland. It's in a small town north of here in Washington called Onalaska, and it's about 50 minutes away. But I went in probably 15 years ago. And dude, when you get to like day 7, you lose your fucking mind. And you, like, it's a journey. But other things are weird is you know what's really crazy? Is when you're in it, they separate the men and women, and the women are on the women's side and the men are on the men's side, and you go there and you don't, like I said, you don't talk or you don't look at anybody. But you know what's weird, guys, is when you don't speak to people and you don't look at them, you don't look them in the eye, you fucking feel closer to them. Right? What's really weird is you discover that the thing that separates you from people, the thing that makes you feel alone is not other people. It's your own ego. Your own judgments of other people are the thing that separate you from feeling connected and part of the group. And in fact, when you stop talking to people and looking them in the eye and judging them, you feel closer to these fucking strangers. So weird. And then, of course, when you quiet your mind to the point of like getting in touch with your, like what's going on in your body, you start hearing your own real voice, right? And I, in particular, discovered my real problems with ego because I do have a really huge ego, as do a lot of performers, you know, singers, whatever, front persons, you know, whatever, leader type personalities. But what was crazy about learning Vipassana and doing that fucking process is I got to see the destructive side of my ego, and I got to really see it and realize that, like, you know, it's okay to have a really huge ego as long as you fucking mitigate the damage it does. And as long as you fucking, like, you know, as long as you can learn how to not have your ego be a destructive force. And so, yeah, it was really fucking, really good shit. You know, it was really life-changing for me, man. You know, like, and it wasn't the end all be all, right? It was one of the big catalysts that then opened me up to, you know, I went to it when I was about 3 years sober. All right. And it was fucking, you know, it was pretty amazing. It really will crack you open and do a profound sort of sense. So what made me go, Allie, was this, was when I was first getting sober, I was doing a lot of Google searching about like sobriety and how to get sober. And then, you know, I've discovered that some people had used Vipassana meditation to conquer addiction. And so that I found online, I discovered it as a possible help for addiction. And then what ended up happening was me and my girlfriend were planning on going to a retreat. We were both getting sober at the time, and then we broke up, and I was like super injured by the breakup, and I was afraid she was going to go before me. So in a spirit of being competitive, I fucking went first because I was like going to be the first guy to go do this healing thing. And then ultimately what happened was my ego took over and I tried to like do it better than everyone. And there's a, you know, there's an hour a day where you can make a 10-minute meeting with the meditation instructor and you can go talk to him about the technique. And of course, I went in there trying to use that as me showing off for the instructor to schmooze. Like I was a schmoozer who ingratiates myself into the power structure and wins the favor of the higher ups and gets all the benefits. And I went in there and did that. And he was like, what is your fucking problem? You're not even doing the meditation. Like you are fucked up. He like completely rejected me and just excoriated me for trying to game this thing, and ultimately fucking cracked me open. And then I had a real revelatory, like kick in the nuts experience of like, wow, dude, this is how I operate. And now like, it's weird. I'm still a networker and a schmoozer, but I don't do it unconsciously anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I've taken the player manipulator part out of it, right? But man, it was good. It was really amazing. And then ultimately I went on to do a bunch of therapy and this was like the foundational shit. But yeah, man, it's just like what it says, Vipassana, which means to see things as they really are. And that's really the number one thing about Vipassana that I think what it does is it allows you to, if you're willing to go through it, and if you're willing to like, you got to take the journey, right? And the journey is going to break you. Okay. It is going to break you in a way that is like devastating to how you have connected to the world you function in. But if you're willing to go through that break, right? And if you're willing to like care about yourself enough to go through that and to really just look in the mirror, like you see one of the most crystal clear versions of you, like the part of you that was operable when you were like a kid before you lost your innocence and shit. It like really gives you the fucking, you know, the like, it's like the light. You know what I'm saying? Right? Oh, dude, Gen X, I don't even see what you're saying, boss, but it's okay. Dude, I'm not worried about that. But yeah, man, it was really, really amazing. But it's crazy. And there's no charge though. No charges. The food is free, the accommodations are free, the entire experience is free. At the end of it, you make a donation. Okay? And they do, guys. Guys, they have, if you look at the directory here, okay, and they have one center in Africa, 32 in America, 202 in Asia, 21 in Europe, 9 in Oceania, right? And then they have a bunch of non-centers, which are like little satellite places. So there's 265 centers worldwide. And I was just lucky there's one here 50 miles away, right? Shit, it was amazing, boss, right? 10 days. And you can leave at any time. You're not forced to stay, right? But it is really fucking amazing, right? Should not be in a frail mental state. Yeah, no, I think with this, guys, it doesn't matter what your mental state is. I think you can be frail, and if you were in a frail mental state, you would probably, like, I think ultimately you find strength, right? I think, I mean, I wouldn't go there if you're like suicidal or something, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I went there after a breakup when I was particularly hard hit by a breakup and had sort of gotten into a fucking rebound relationship, a brand new one. And I was kind of a mess, but it's really amazing. It really is, dude. It's fucking really good, dude. Good shit. It gets me a little misty, right? But they're teaching them in prisons. I'm telling you, man, shit is amazing. Dude, it's amazing. It's like, it's just like we don't realize, like, we don't realize how much of our experience in work, in fucking, right? It's like, we don't realize how much of our, like, makeup is just our ego. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're, how much of your world that you build up, like your defense mechanisms, your outlook on life, how you interact with other people, who you think is less than you and who you think is better than you, and how you connect to people based on whether you think they're better than you or less than you, and what you avoid and what you don't avoid, and how you hide from connection. All of that is tied into your ego. You know what I'm saying? And it's really interesting, dude. And this is just a beautiful meditation that is fucking, I don't know. It's just beautiful. You don't like the whole break your personality, but you don't break your personality down. You know what I'm saying? It's like there is no breaking of your personality down. It's more like you quiet everything in your mind until whatever you've been, repressing can be heard, right? You can't break your personality down without somebody yelling at you or some shit like that. And there's no interactions with other human beings. I mean, if you don't go and talk to a meditation instructor, which you don't have to, there wouldn't be any interaction with human beings, right? So it's not about breaking your personality down. It's more about seeing what your actual personality looks like. It's breaking your ego down. It's like shattering your ego enough for you to be able to see what actually exists, because you discover that everything is your ego, right? Like everything. Our entire self-image is like ego. And then you go to a meditation retreat like this, and when you get rid of the ego, you're like, holy shit, like, I'm actually a completely different person than I've been living out in the world, right? And in some ways, I'm exactly who I've been living out in the world, right? Yeah, it's really amazing. Well, and you know what's great about meditation, though, guys, is all it is focusing on your breathing and paying attention to the sensations in your body. So ultimately, you're developing insight to your base, right? To your base perceptions in your body, your physicality. And so it's really just about developing awareness, right? And doing it without judgment. And it's amazing. And this is not Hindu. This is Buddhist. This is the actual meditation that Buddha did, right? And so this is the meditation that Buddha did, right? It is, and it's crazy though. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But highly recommend, guys. Okay? Highly recommend. If you ever have 10 days and you want to fucking transform, right? Dude, it's really good. It's really good. Like I said, you just have to accept the fact that once you strip away the ego, your mind doesn't react well. Like when it all of its ways of functioning gets sort of like, fall to the wayside. You go a little crazy. But by the 10th day, man, you know, it's crazy though too. Like I said, what's interesting is you watch a video every night, okay? Right? You watch a video every night, and that day you've had an experience. But here's what's crazy, guys, is every meditator goes and has the same experience. Like they have this technique down to where every day you go and you experience like, I couldn't stop thinking about something today. I just couldn't quiet my mind. And then that night you go and watch a video and the guy's like, okay, you may have noticed about 3 hours into today's meditation, your mind went fucking crazy and you just simply couldn't quiet it for the entire rest of the day. Like all of you had that experience, and that's just what today was about. And here's why. And so you go in there at night and he tells you exactly what you just experienced. And you're like, oh, it's like you start to trust the process. And then once you trust the process, you go into it in a much more free and open and accepting way. And it's really wild, man. But it's like meditation rewires your brain. It does. Like any meditation, not just Vipassana. It's like that breath work. Actually, focused breath work rewires your brain. It does. It like changes your brain chemistry in a really positive way, right? It's good shit, though. It's hard. Somebody who said, I'm really manic. Yeah, it was really hard. It's hard because I am really manic. And I'm really fucking, you know, it was super hard shit. All right, but now I got to go dance, guys. There we go. Dude, I'll put this link in the fucking, do we have a Discord channel about, I should make a Discord about fucking like self-help shit, right? But I'll put it in here again. Yeah, it's amazing, dude. And like I said, it's free, right? You can go and you can pay. I think I donated like $200 at the end of it, right? You could donate $10. It's amazing. Love it. All right, you guys ready for some dance? Let's go, baby. Let's get it. So I'm going to tell you real quick. I'm going to tell you everything that I did. Ready? In a quick rundown. Here is all the shit that I did that in my path to sobriety. Okay? So I got sober for 5.5 years just by myself, becoming a workaholic who was addicted to adult content, gambling, and Red Bull and cigarettes, and touring solo workaholic around the country. I did that for 5.5 years. Then I also got sober with AA, and I worked the steps twice, okay, with 2 different sponsors. Then I did Vipassana meditation, the retreat, and then I did the meditation itself for about a year. I dabbled with several other types of meditation and still to this day do meditation. I have a meditation bench over there. I don't do it super regularly, but I try to. I did Fitzmaurice voice, which is something that is like tremoring, using tremoring to like pull repressed trauma out of the body. I did that. I did EMDR for about 4 years. That is PTSD therapy. I did a number of other talk therapies. I briefly did hypnosis as a treatment for cocaine, and hypnosis wasn't really my bag. I didn't really like that. I did not do tapping, even though I did study it. I did several years of acupuncture, like regular acupuncture, and I still do cupping and body work. I have a massage therapist who does body work and cupping, and I do that regularly. I do body work weekly when I can afford it, right? So I get a massage, a 2-hour massage every week, right, with cupping. And mostly to just keep all that shit out of my body. Doing this politics shit, it's really important. Then for years, I spent, would go to the sauna regularly, like doing saunas and stretching and reading books in the sauna is very meditative and super, super healthy. And the other thing I did, guys, is I did Bikram yoga for a year, and I'm actually about to go back and do Bikram yoga. And Bikram yoga is really interesting because it is hot yoga, but it's like very specific. It's like really specific, like cutting off the blood flow to certain parts of your body, and then you let the blood rush back to it in the heat. But you do the same things over and over again with the like it's the same routine you do every single time for the exact same amount of time. So Bikram is very focused and intense, but that actually changed like my circulation in my body. I used to get really cold feet and shit, and Bikram really helped me physically, like I feel like get my energy, my blood flow in my body. So I've done a lot of modalities that I still sort of like go in and out with. And, you know, I've done other types of yoga as well, like periodically. And, you know, for like a year or whatever, I did, you know, step aerobics. I went through a period when I first got sober where I really liked the energy of women and exercise. So I went and did step aerobics at a 24-hour fitness for like my first year of sobriety because it was really non-competitive and I felt a lot of support from the women in step aerobics. And so that helped me get sober. Like a gym membership was crucial to my first 2 years of sobriety. But I did step, dude, like 3 times a week, man. Oh, it was amazing. Shit was the bomb, dude. So I've done a lot of it, you know. I like to fucking, I don't know. I like to get out there, boss. Right? Highly recommend it. You know, explore. Dude, just exploring. Dude, spin classes are great. You know, thank you for tonight. You're welcome, James. Thank you, guys. Guys, I hope, I can't tell you enough, guys. Exploring shit that gets like trauma out of your body and mind is just so helpful. Like, you know what I mean? Getting the energy out of us, right? Getting the fucking energy, getting that trauma and shit out of our body and our mind and getting our energy flowing. I saw somebody early say they're intrigued by Buddhism. See, Buddhism is great, okay? Because Buddhism, I use a lot of Buddhism because Buddhism is not a religion, it's a philosophy. There's no deity, there's no gods, there's no ruler. Like Buddhism is about harmony, okay? It's about looking at the world we live in, the planet, the animals, the space, the other people, and you find harmony. It's about finding ways to harmonize with your environment, with nature, and with other people, and you know, developing a philosophy of non-harm, you know, which, I mean, I ebb and flow with, but like really, I really connected how like Buddhists, they say that you shouldn't, you know, sell weapons, you shouldn't sell intoxicants. And so there's like, you know, it's things like that where you try to look at ways of like, you know, bringing more harmony and fucking connection to the world. And yeah, I definitely believe in the web of energy. I think a lot of religious people just confuse that web of shared energy and they try to control it with their deity and shit like that. But the soulful energy is very much there. It just wasn't given to us by some dude up in the clouds. It's something we share, man, which is why we owe it to each other to be compassionate and connected. You know, and sort of like respect that energy, but it's hard. Now we have MAGA in the world. Now we have to fucking kick some fucking ass. Right? All right. Oh, I do love Buddhism though. But, all right, you guys ready? Let's go, baby, let's go! Yeah. I have a lot of energy though, guys, so I have to be very cognizant of how I energetically like go through the world. I have to be very cognizant of what I take on and what I fucking get like out of my body. I have to, because I'm so receptive, You know, and my creativity is like putting antenna out, taking everybody's energy and shit. And when I do that, I have to be real fucking, you know, I have to be real careful, right? Of like, you know, not getting bogged down. You know what I mean? Awareness. Awareness is key. You guys ready? I'm ready for a little deja vu. Let's go, baby. Here we go. Oh, oh, oh.
Got a lot of choices. I got a lot of ways that I can go. I hear a lot of voices. They have a lot to say, but I don't know. Been here before. Yeah, I do recognize the title of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar, coming on greatly. This feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the title of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay.
Let's go.
Coming up slowly, this feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy, a notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out alright this time. I know.
Oh, let's go. Oh. Woo. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, man. Dude, this song, I love this song. It's about to kick in, just so you know. Song's about to get way aggressive. Crazy, and some of the best lyrics, I think, I've ever written, though. It's a song called Wonderful Mess. Oh, so good. Here it comes. Oh, it's so good. I just found another over. I feel colder every time I sense danger. I just find enough. Go to this game that I don't want to play. Please start me over.
is what I think. I will drown in pink. After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you're giving. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Paint away day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I